All right, I think we're live now. This is a new one. This is gonna be a new one. We are no thumbnail, no nothing. This was kind of a last minute, last night decision. Ladies and gentlemen, we are covering the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. Um I need to do this. 1 second here. Let's do this. That way. Let's do. There we go. All right. So, no, don't do that. All right. Not that I'm expecting a lot of people in here, but we're gonna see. Hi, everybody. All right, let's go ahead and turn this up. We are grifting the grifter here, everybody. We have Rekeita Law's stream up. We're gonna be adding our own commentary to this, but this is some of the best commentary, law commentary on YouTube right now.
I will be doing a 24-hour stream on Friday the 27th.
Okay.
Rekeita, you are
so make sure the link is in the description if you want to go ahead and watch this stream.
Like I'm doing a pre-show.
I'm gonna have an issue with this autofocus all day,
and then I'm streaming. And for me, it's like my night.
So I'm gonna have an issue with this autofocus all day, but just want to let you all know that the link is in the description below if you would like to go watch this stream and not listen to me. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to be watching this anyway, so I figured I might as well be watching it with y'all. So click the link in the description to go check out Rekeita Law's stream. Nick Rekeita is an amazing lawyer. He has some amazing commentary and insight, which we're going to get into. But yeah, let's go ahead and watch this. We're going to be getting started here.
For the majority of Friday.
Lawyer for Johnny Depp, Camille, is in the white. She's going to be finishing up her cross for on Amber Heard today. Amber Heard's taking the stand right now. So yesterday I finished watching it after I went to work, came home, finished watching the rest of the trial, and it was devastating to Amber Heard. So it's just insane. But okay, let's get into it.
D-Gents.
Let's see. Okay. Legal mindset. Mr. Branca, I would ask you, but you haven't been watching the whole trial. Mindset. What do you give? What do you put the percentage chance of Johnny winning right now? I know
I heard you talking shit about people, but I'm gonna give the rating that you talk shit about, which is I'm 75% Johnny.
All right. Next question.
What? Oh my God! Judge.
Wow!
What the fuck,
Judge? But
Judge, the microphone. All right. Let's see. Oh, let me crank up the resolution.
Little angel of cross.
Good morning, Miss Heard.
All right.
Good morning.
I'm gonna share this up.
The nicest words she'll hear all day.
Your relationship with Mr. Depp began in October of 2011, right?
That's correct.
And you previously testified multiple times
here comes.
under oath that the first year of your relationship with Mr. Depp was the best of times, right, Miss Heard?
That is correct.
You testified that as far as you could tell, Mr. Depp was sober that first year.
That is correct. That's what I used to believe.
And that the first year was, quote, magic.
Yes, I always estimated it was about a year.
But now you've told this jury that Mr. Depp was being violent with you throughout 2012, haven't you, Miss Heard?
No, he took a break in the middle of 2012 when he was sober.
You told them that he was hitting you in 2012, though. Is that right?
He was hitting me in 2012. He just took a break in the middle.
Oh, shit.
His arms got tired.
He was smashing things around you, right?
He did.
And you told them that Mr. Depp was in and out of sobriety in 2012.
That is correct.
You told this jury that, in 2012, I was in the beginning stages of this, just learning these patterns. I was learning that drinking kind of correlated with the violence, end quote. Is that right?
That is correct.
So it was during these cycles of violence in 2012 that you gave Mr. Depp a knife as a gift.
I gave him a knife, I think for a birthday present early in our relationship. I believe it was around 2012, but I'm not certain.
We've seen a picture of that knife, but I think we should bring out the real thing.
Ooh.
Oh,
Master
baby.
Deputy,
Bring out the actual
Halusa.
knife?
Master Deputy Sheriff Halusa, may I please have you show the knife to Miss Heard?
Master Deputy Sheriff?
Master Deputy Sheriff.
I feel like that's some
Yes,
40K
that's it.
terminology. It's like God.
That is a nice
That's the
Knife.
knife you gave to the man who was
That's
hitting you
a
right.
knife, as Crocodile Dundee might
I wasn't
say.
worried he was going to stab me with it when I gave it to him. That's for certain.
But you gave it to him while he was abusing you, allegedly.
I gave it to him that year.
Master Deputy Sheriff Lusa, will you please show the knife to the jury? Thank you. This is the knife you gave to the man who would get drunk and violent with you, right?
This is the same knife that I gave him as a present in
Don't
2012.
drop
Yes.
him off for charity as the bitch blade.
Now, Ms.
So
Heard, I'm going to need to
he's been
talk to you about
abusing
what
you, but
happened
you
in
gave him a
Australia in
knife.
March of 2015. You've testified that at some point during the incident you described, you witnessed Mr. Depp bashing the phone against a wall, right?
That is correct.
You testified that the phone was breaking into pieces.
I was watching it disappear.
And Mr. Depp smashed
why-
it, I think
that
your
why
word
there's
was smithereens.
No pictures of it?
Yes, that is correct.
And according to your testimony, this was a wall-mounted phone in the bar area.
That is correct.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1820. I believe this has already been admitted into evidence. If we could have it published.
Oh, they're going to show the fully intact phone the next day that's sitting on the
Oh.
counter.
Yep.
I hope so.
Just pick apart all the hyperbolic nonsense in the stories and let the jury infer that the rest of it's hyperbolic
you.
nonsense.
Miss Heard, that's unicorn
You
blood.
saw this
you're
photo
drinking,
during
isn't
your
that
direct
true?
examination, right?
That is correct.
And you testified that the wall-mounted phone that you saw Mr. Depp smash is on the wall on the left.
That's correct. So if you were looking at this picture, the wall-mounted phone would have been behind you on the left-hand side of your shoulder.
But it's not depicted in this photo, correct?
Whoever took this photo standing right in front of where that mounted phone was.
That's convenient. Pieces of the phone Mr. Depp smashed aren't in this picture either, right?
You don't see it because it's whoever took this photo standing in front of that.
Whoever took this photo, it's Mr. Ben King, correct?
That's what I believe.
Yeah. Mr. King testified under oath in this trial, right?
That is correct.
And he testified that there was no wall-mounted phone smashed to smithereens that he had to replace, correct?
I didn't hear him testify to that, no.
You didn't?
Refresh
you
his
not-
recollection. Refresh
counsel-
his
Wow.
recollection.
I disagree with that representation.
You also saw this picture. Actually, can we please bring up Defendant's Exhibit 1821
Elaine is
Catch
under
her
the
in
bus.
all
also
the
admitted.
lies.
into evidence?
Mm. Well, at least she didn't wake up and decide.
You
"I'm
also
gonna
saw
be
this
nice
picture
today."
during your direct examination, correct?
That is correct.
And so this is the bar area to the right of the wall-mounted phone you just described.
If you were facing in that direction, if you're facing this direction, it would be behind you.
This phone on the counter isn't the phone that got smashed to smithereens, is it?
No, they brought that out during my testimony in the UK as well. And I said this in the UK trial as well, that is not the phone. Obviously, because that one's not smashed and it's not wall mounted.
Yeah, so there are two phones in the bar area.
That phone could wall mount
There,
easily.
there was a wall mounted phone. I don't know if it was decorative or what, but it was white, like it
A
looked
decorative
antique.
mall
large
mounted
and
phone,
antique.
Of course.
And what the large and antique one that's not depicted in any photograph, including ones you took, is the one that Mr. Depp damaged, correct?
Oh, look at her face.
That is correct. I only took pictures of the mirrors.
So there's no picture of that damaged phone.
I didn't take a picture of it, no.
So back to the phone.
Convenient.
section.
Convenient.
You watched Mr. Depp smash the phone, right?
That's correct. I watched it.
And you testified that you were, quote, watching the phone every single time he pulled his hand back, end quote.
That's correct.
And according to you, this is when Mr. Depp lost the tip of his finger, right?
It is my best guess. I didn't notice his finger come off, obviously. I was watching him smash the phone and watching the pieces break while he was doing it.
Well, it's not your best guess, Ms. Heard.
That is my best guess, yes.
Okay, let's go back to my questions. You submitted a declaration under the penalty of perjury in this case. Do you remember that?
That is correct.
Okay, let's look at that declaration.
It's not your best guess, is it? Because you have other under oath declarations that say something different. You think he cut it off with a knife or whatever.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
That's a big stack of paper.
If we could direct your attention, Ms. Heard, to the page 14 of the declaration.
And Camille's got lots of energy. I could hear it in that breath out, that nervous energy. Not like I'm terrified, but I'm in it. I'm excited. I'm ready.
Is that your signature?
Yes, it is.
And your signature appears right under the statement, quote, "I declare under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the state of Virginia, that the foregoing is true and correct."
That is correct.
And this is dated April 10th, 2019.
Correct.
Okay.
Now let's look at paragraph 16, which is on page 5.
Is she gonna just try to get her for perjury right
Specifically
now?
line 10.
Yeah, it's like they didn't feed
Well,
Camille last night.
Right. Testify
I'm
under oath.
hungry this morning.
Make her
While he
mad.
was smashing the phone, Johnny severely injured his finger, cutting off the top of it, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
Yes, that's correct.
So you testified in this courtroom that after Mr. Depp smashed the phone, he held you down on the countertop by the neck. Do you remember that?
I'm not quite sure of the exact sequence of things, but yes,
Oh.
both of those things happened.
Ooh.
We'll get to the sequence. And this is when Mr. Depp supposedly assaulted you with a bottle, right?
On the countertop, he assaulted me.
So Mr. Depp was able to get you on the counter, right?
He held me down by my neck.
And hold you down by your neck.
That is correct.
And he
Allegedly.
grabbed a bottle, according to you, while holding you down by the neck, correct?
I'm sorry, can you clarify what you're asking me?
While Mr. Depp is holding you by the neck against the countertop, he grabs a bottle. That's your testimony.
No, those two things didn't happen at the exact same time, no.
What? Oh,
While
I'm
he-
sorry.
so he's holding the bottle. Is that your testimony?
He
While
was holding
holding
my-
you down by the neck?
Sorry. What was your question?
Oh,
The
she-
She thinks she's
testimony
being
is-
smart. She
But
thinks she's
either-
being smart.
He has the bottle before or after he's holding you by the neck on the counter. Is that your testimony?
He held me by the neck on the counter.
Where's
when
the
did
bottle
he grab the bottle?
that he
At
assaulted
what
with
point?
while holding you down by your neck?
When he was assaulting me with the bottle, it was in his hand.
Was it in his hand before or after he holds you down by your neck?
I was being held down while he assaulted me with the bottle.
So when did he
So
get the
when did he
fucking
grab
bottle,
the
you
bottle?
dope?
When he puts you on the counter,
Oh
does
my
he have the
god.
bottle in his hand? Yes or no?
As I have always said, I don't remember exactly what happened first, or I don't remember the sequence. I just remember being aware that I was being assaulted by a bottle while I was on the countertop.
Wow.
So he penetrates you with this bottle. But you don't know how he got the bottle, right?
That's correct.
And he did that right after he lost the tip of his right middle finger.
Again, I don't remember the exact sequence of those events.
We'll get to the sequence. And while he was on 8 to
worry.
10
We got
MDMA pills, right?
Yes.
8 to
Bull-
10
was that-
MDMA
was that someone going
pills.
bullshit?
This is the sequence of events that you
that is
testified to in
straight
this
up
courtroom.
somebody going
That
bullshit.
He smashed the phone to smithereens and then assaulted you, lost the tip of his finger, and then assaulted you with a bottle. Yes, that's the sequence of events that you testified to in this courtroom.
To be clear, you're putting it in order when you say words like then. I have never claimed that I can remember the exact sequence of these things. This was a multi-day
Making it about
assault
her.
that took place over 3 horrible days.
Ms. Heard,
Multi-day
Ms. Heard,
assault.
we're not,
Remember
Ms.
the
Heard,
exact
that's not my
sequence.
question. My question isn't about the 3-day assault allegedly that occurred. I'm just talking about the
Allegedly,
sexual
there we
assault
go.
that you now allege occurred.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Let's talk
Yeah,
about
now-
the
learning a lot more allegedlys today. I like that.
Yep. She listened to y'all.
And again, there you necessarily have put
testified.
a sequence down. He held me down, then violated
Yeah,
me.
I know. I just realized that.
Something had to happen. He had to get a bottle at some point. Maybe he grabbed the bottle after violating her with it. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe
like
he
you
was
said.
already in there. Maybe he was saving her. He's like, "Where's my drink?"
It's like you said, legal mindset.
Yes.
Why is
Ah.
the rum gone?
She thinks she's being smart.
She thinks she's being smart. And this is so disingenuous. And people on the jury, they get frustrated with this because she's lying.
16? Yes, of
Court
my
transcript?
deposition.
Yes.
Mhm.
No, of the court transcript from this trial.
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of things you don't realize.
Let's look at the transcript. So you testified on page, I'm getting there, 4506.
I have jerky somewhere. Hold on. I'm not used to these morning streams of not gaming or anything. This is weird, but this is awesome. Camille is just sending it right now.
I'm guessing we're going to read back her timeline of the assault, which is
Yep.
she clearly made a
Yeah.
timeline of the assault. But now I don't know. I don't know what was actually what order. Hey, there's DUI guys front row today. He's right.
Yeah, I
right
heard
back
that
there.
Runkle
Oh, yeah.
and Lawn Lumber did not make it in. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, they got
There? Okay.
they got cucked right out
And
of it.
the reason that we need to go through this, Ms. Hurd, is because we understand that these are very serious allegations that you're making, right?
It was horrible. What happened to me? Yes.
Okay, so let's go through them. Page 4506, line 2 through 3. I sit here now.
Legal
You
mindset
testified
for
on
bottle
page
roll.
4506. This all started when Mr. Depp took 8 or 10 pills of MDMA, right?
That is correct.
Then, directing your attention to page 4518. Line 19. You talk about Mr. Depp smashing a wall-mounted phone, correct?
That is correct.
Then on page 4519,
Establish this timeline.
at line 3, you testified that while Mr. Depp is smashing the phone, he is screaming, quote, "I fucking hate you," end quote, right?
Yes, he was screaming that among other things.
And further down on page 4519, same page, lines 12 through 19, you talk about how you watched Mr. Depp smash the phone to smithereens, right?
That is correct.
Then, continuing on the same page, 4519, line 20, you say something really important. Quote, "At some point, he's on top of me. No phone, but screaming the same thing," end quote, right?
I just remember the sound. Yes.
You remember, and you testified to the jury, that he didn't have the phone in his hand anymore.
When he was assaulting me with the bottle,
Right.
he had the bottle in his hand. When he was punching the wall with the phone, he had the phone in his hand. When he was punching the wall next to my head, he had me by the throat. He did a lot of things that night.
He
So you're
had you
acknowledging,
by the
by
throat the
the
whole time,
sequence.
apparently.
Mhm.
not my words, your words, Ms. Hurd, that you testified to this jury, that Mr. Depp smashed the phone to smithereens before he assaulted you. That's the sequencing in which you testified, correct?
I have never testified to a sequence.
You just read it.
Keep talking about that sequence. Then on page
just read it to
4521,
you.
Again, you told a
Starting
story
at line
about how
3.
this event unfolded.
you testified to
For
being
real.
bent over backwards on the bar, right?
Backwards.
Okay.
They're asking about approaching. Well, she never testified to the order that it's in. She just testified the order that it happened. Again, this is the weasel stuff that
Mhm.
people try to pull. It doesn't sound smart or clever. You told a story about that day to the jury and what happened. He grabbed you by the neck. He slammed you against the wall. He bashed the phone against the wall. He put you on the counter with the broken glass. And then he violated
100%.
you with a bottle. And then later you stood up and walked back to your room bleeding from your vagina. That was your testimony. That's a story you painted to the jury. If you're
And that
going to
is a
suddenly now
sequence
say,
of
well, I don't
events.
actually remember what any of that occurred in, you've undercut the whole meaning of the story. And
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense. What? So he violated you with a bottle, then stood you up, then smashed the phone on the wall? Like,
And can we
Here's
change
the-
the subject to
right,
what happened
you
over
know,
a 3-day period?
Not to
please?
laugh, but
Yeah.
again, I'm not a
And here's the
lawyer.
thing,
They're doing
look
all
at
the
her body
legal
language. It just focused
stuff
off of
right
her, but
here.
when it was on her, you can see she's oozing this smug reassuredness. She believes, I believe she genuinely, Amber Heard genuinely
I don't wanna
believes
talk over
this
these
is
guys.
helping her. I think she genuinely
Yeah.
believes she's getting a W here because, especially in places like LA, especially amongst Hollywood elites like that, these sort of snarky, smart remarks, they're viewed as little W's, but here they're complete L's
Yeah.
because they're completely
Directing
disingenuous.
your attention,
they're
Ms.
out
Heard,
of
to page
reality.
452.
Her normal life is that
Line
she
three.
lies to people. They know she's lying.
Justified to
She
being
knows
bent
she's
over
lying,
backwards
and
on
she
the
gets
bed,
away with it
right?
anyway.
Yes.
That is
So
correct.
she has no qualms
And
about
then feeling the
obviously
pressure
lying.
on your pubic
That's normal
bone,
for her.
Mr. Depp was punching you.
Yeah.
Yes?
That's what I thought.
And then further
thought.
down on page
what you thought?
4521 and on to 4522, you testified that you were concerned Mr. Depp was using a broken bottle on you. Yes?
That was my fear.
Okay.
That's what I remember feeling.
Ms. Heard, I'm going to show you Defendant's Exhibit 1.
It goes from no to feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which has already been admitted.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You saw this picture during your direct examination, right?
I did.
And you testified that this is a picture of the bottles that were next to Mr. Depp on a desk when you found him drinking in the morning, right?
That's correct.
And this was the morning after Mr. Depp had allegedly sexually assaulted you, right?
It was the morning after he did assault me. Yes.
And if I understood your testimony correctly, you testified that this is the Maker's Mark bottle that Mr. Depp sexually assaulted you with.
I was never sure it was, but it was definitely that shape.
You were pretty
Felt
sure
like
the
that
other
shape.
day.
Yeah,
But
really.
you testified in this courtroom that you had not seen this bottle until Ben King provided these photographs, correct?
Not in the course of the trial. I hadn't seen the photograph.
Oh,
Oh, that's
wait,
different.
what?
That's different.
You claim you had serious injuries
No,
after
she
this
said
alleged
she'd
incident,
never
right, Ms.
seen
Heard?
it.
Show her the bottle.
Depends on what you would call serious. For me, having a sore jaw and some bruises at the time of my relationship wasn't that serious.
Okay, let's testify.
relative.
Let's focus on the testimony that you gave about the injuries. Mr. Depp, as you testified yesterday, wears rings on every finger, right?
Sometimes, I mean, often. And certainly in the later part of our relationship, that was more normal than not. But if he's filming or something like that, of course, he's not going to have his
When
own
he's
jewelry on.
beating you.
Your testimony in this trial was,
Mm-hmm.
quote, I don't know if I've ever known Johnny not to wear rings, correct?
You need to put your microphone on, Miss. Thank
It's
you.
not an
Objection.
improper
This woman
impeachment.
still not
Improper
know to turn the
shit together,
microphone
Elaine.
on.
To ask her a question, then she has to show where that was, and then
I'll overrule the objection.
She does not have to show it.
No.
BTFO.
Your testimony yesterday was, quote, I don't know if I've ever known Johnny not to wear rings, right,
That's-
Ms. Heard?
That's what I testified to, yes.
Okay. And he was wearing rings on every finger in Australia, correct?
Not all the time, not literally every single ring, every single day, but he often wears rings.
Not often, Ms. Heard. Your words are, I've never known Johnny not to wear rings on every finger.
Get on.
That is what I
yes.
testified to.
Yes.
And you testified that you bled as a result of this sexual assault, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And you testified that your forearms were cut
My forearms and my feet.
and your feet were sliced up.
That's correct.
And you testified you had a bruise across your jaw.
That is correct.
And there is not a single medical record reflecting treatment for any of those injuries, is there, Ms. Heard?
Nope.
I didn't seek treatment.
You're
And the day
bleeding
after you
from your
sustained all these
vagina.
injuries, Dr. David Kipper came to the house in Australia, right?
Well, he came the third day along with security.
The day after you sustained these injuries, Dr. David Kipper came along with nurse Debbie Lloyd, correct?
Well, that fight went into the morning, like early hour morning. So technically that last day.
Dr. David Kipper is Mr. Depp's, or was Mr. Depp's physician, right?
I believe he still is.
But he
Yes.
was at the time.
Yes, that's correct.
And he was
Mhm.
also your physician.
He also saw me.
No, not saw you.
Not
He
saw
was your
you.
physician, correct, Ms. Heard?
Johnny was the client, but he also treated me.
He was your physician of record.
Let's please pull up. Do you remember giving testimony in this case in a deposition, Ms. Heard?
All right.
I do.
Here we
Mhm.
go. Don't make me impeach you.
If you're going to be a stupid bitch.
Pull up the deposition transcript, day 2,
Be a
Nate the
stupid
lawyer
bitch,
mentioned
win
it
stupid
yesterday.
prizes.
The strategy is to get through cross,
at
Like, not-
589 lines
not
6
sit
through
and
8.
try and try and fight with the cross-examiner because they're going to tell the story that they want. You let your lawyers rehab it on redirect, and you just don't give them anything.
Well, she is prepared with the documents ready today.
Your Honor, we're going to play Ms. Heard's deposition for the jury, line day 2, page 540, lines 6 through 9. We have permission to publish it.
You gotta give me a minute.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, day 2, page 589, line 6.
What I meant was he was pledged as my
Of
doctor.
course.
589.
I'm sorry, what was
Oh yeah, if y'all haven't
Page
watched
589,
yesterday's,
line 6
please go
through
back
8.
and watch the stream from yesterday from at Rekeita Law.
589,
When Cross
lines
started.
6 through 8.
All right,
Oh
go.
my gosh,
Thank
it's
you.
so good and
I have no
devastating.
objection, Your Honor.
And he was your doctor at this point, right?
Yes, he was.
Oh,
There
There.
you go.
Done.
Right there.
Debbie Lloyd also came to the house that day.
Yes, she came with Kipper.
Miss Lloyd is a nurse, correct?
That is correct.
Malcolm Connolly also came to the house that day.
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Connolly is one of the security guards, correct?
That is correct.
You had known Mr. Connolly for years at that point.
Yes, that's correct.
You flew back to Los Angeles the next day with Ben King. Is that right?
I can't be certain if it was the next day or the day after, but somewhere around there, yes.
If it was
And the
the
day
next-
you arrived back in Los Angeles, you saw Travis McGivern, correct?
I don't recall seeing Travis, no.
You don't recall Mr. McGivern picking you up from the airport with Ben King?
I don't remember that, no.
Okay.
And the same day, you also saw your own nurse, Erin Barem Filati, that day, correct? The day you arrived in Los Angeles?
I don't recall if I saw her that day.
You saw Miss Filati's testimony in this
You
case.
recall
by
a lot
video
of other
deposition,
shit, but not
correct?
that.
That is correct.
And you heard her testify that she saw you the day you arrived back from Australia on March 9th, 2015.
I believe she testified that she came to dinner
She saw
where I
you.
was with friends. Yeah, I believe that.
So she saw you
She
that
saw
day.
you.
I believe that evening I saw her at dinner.
And then you saw Erin Barem Filati again the next day for a private meeting, didn't you?
I'm not sure if that's what she testified to. I'd have to just see the records to know.
I don't recall.
You heard her testify according to her notes. She met with you privately on March 10th, 2015.
She met with me at some point upon my arrival, but I don't remember the exact date.
And when you were in Australia, Ms. Heard, you didn't take any pictures of the injuries you claim to have sustained, right?
I did not take any pictures, no.
But you did take 2
Convenient.
pictures.
Of the mirrors. I took 2 pictures of the bathroom mirrors
So
that
you took pictures of the
was
mirrors,
the master bathroom
but you
where I
didn't
was.
take any pictures of
Let's
yourself
please pull up
after you were
Defendant's Exhibit
assaulted.
374, which is already in evidence.
Are you in the mirror?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
why?
It's covered in a bunch of bullshit, but
You took this picture, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes,
It's written in her handwriting.
And this is a mirror in the bathroom in Australia.
that's correct.
And this black paint on the mirror is from Mr. Depp.
That is correct.
He wrote on the mirror in black paint after his finger was cut off, right?
Yes, I only know that because there was blood as well as paint.
So you
where?
took this picture after Mr. Depp
Where?
had injured his fingers, correct?
This was while I was packing when I was leaving.
That's
That's
a
when I
yes,
took the
right,
photo.
Ms. Heard?
That's what's the question? I'm sorry.
You took this picture after Mr. Depp had injured his finger.
That's correct.
And you took this picture after you had allegedly been assaulted by Mr. Depp, yes?
That's correct.
Yet you didn't capture yourself in the mirror, did you?
I don't see myself in the mirror. No.
Let's
Why?
please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 375.
Again. Why
She's a
not?
woman with thousands of pictures of herself.
Yes.
You took this picture as well, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And this is from one of the bathroom mirrors in Australia.
That's correct.
This is also a picture taken after Mr. Depp had injured his finger.
That's correct.
And this is also a picture taken after you had allegedly been assaulted by Mr. Depp.
That's correct.
You didn't capture yourself in the mirror in this picture either, did you?
I do not see myself in the mirror in that picture.
Is that because you didn't have any visible injuries on you?
It's because I was taking
Ooh.
a picture of the writing.
So you took a picture of the writing,
Let's talk about the writing
but
on
not
this mirror.
of the assault that happened to you.
So the writing
Okay.
in black paint is from Mr. Depp, correct?
It's all from Mr. Depp.
And it's your testimony under oath that you did not write the red text that says, quote, call Carly Simon, she said it better, babe, end
That's
quote.
that's correct.
It's two different
Because if you
handwritings.
did
there.
write that, it means that your husband was walking around the house bleeding from his amputated finger, and you're writing snarky messages to him on a mirror, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what your question to me is. I'm sorry.
Let's please take a look at
Well,
defendant.
it wasn't really a question.
30.
Yeah,
No.
it was more of a statement to the jury, not really to you. I don't care what
I
you say
believe
to
this,
that at all.
this picture is also admitted into evidence.
Camille smiles. She's like, I think you know exactly what I'm saying.
This is a picture of the same mirror,
Legal
right?
mindset we get
That's
her.
correct.
But you didn't take this picture.
No, I did not.
This is the one that Ben King took.
And I don't see him in the mirror either.
I don't believe he
That's
claims
not
he
the
had injuries.
question.
Wow.
Is that right?
I did not hear Ben King talk about his injuries, no.
So you would agree, Ms. Heard, that the black text on the mirror says, quote, "She loves naked photos of herself. So modern, so hot."
I had not read that yet. I mean, before, but yeah, that's what it says.
But you were taking pictures of the text, but you had not read that before?
I haven't seen this. It didn't make sense to me at the time when I read it in person.
Again,
You
Mr. Depp wrote that.
You were
I don't know who
there.
else would have.
Well, maybe
So,
you.
Ms. Heard, just to be clear, it's your testimony that Mr. Depp also wrote the message in red about Carly Simon saying it better, right?
That's correct.
You know Carly Simon sang the song "You're So Vain," right?
I was told that.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Depp was writing messages to himself in the mirror back and forth.
The best I can describe it is it looked like
Oh, wow.
a crazy conversation. It was on the walls, it was
With
on
himself.
lampshades, it was
With
on
himself.
cushions.
It's your testimony. The crazy conversation was with himself.
That's what it looked like from the
Oh,
bloody
okay.
messages I found.
And
Okay.
you would agree with me that in this photograph, the red text has been smudged with black paint, right?
Yes.
Let's please pull up, if we can, Defendant's Exhibit 375 again.
Shame Bad says, "I know this is only $2, but I pledge $1 billion."
That's the meme.
Plus
I tell
smudged
everybody
with
that's the
the
meme.
sticker that you took, right?
That
That's
is
correct.
definitely from legal
So
mindset.
Mr. Depp
chat.
must have not liked his own message to himself.
I'm not quite sure what was happening when Ben took his photograph.
Again,
No.
There's two different
Let's please pull
handwritings.
up Plaintiff's Exhibit 343, which is already in evidence, and play the portion from 1:57:21 through 1:58:54. It's a recording, Your Honor.
It'd be great if that recording was her quoting Carly Simon.
Mhm.
To get out of a bad situation while it's happening. It gets worse. In Australia, when we had the big fight where I lost the tip of my finger, at least 5 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms I went to
avoid talking to me, to
To
avoid
escape
working it
the-
out. That's
to
the
escape
problem.
the fight.
You don't escape the fight. You escape the solution.
No.
You escape the solution.
No.
Escape figuring it out. We cannot work it out if you run away to the bathroom every time.
Listen to me. Listen to me. A boxer can't go 12 rounds without a fucking minute break.
I'm not giving you a minute break. You do it at minute 3 at the beginning of an argument.
No. There are rounds, man. And when it gets too fucking hairy, the ref splits them apart or whatever. But
I've
all
lived
I'm
this
saying is
experience.
You can't have a solution if the argument just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting.
The argument becomes the purpose.
I fucking go to
That's
the
exactly.
bathroom and sit on the floor. Bam, bam, bam. Here you come. I come out. Fight. Crazy. Escalated. I split again. I go to another fucking bathroom or a bedroom or something. Knock. Bang, bang, bang. You kept coming to get me.
Trying to get away from you.
Ooh,
It's trying
This is
to
what
get
really
away
happened in
from you.
Australia, isn't it, Ms. Heard?
no, it's not.
I did knock on a bathroom door on the first night.
Not a bathroom door, 5 bathroom doors and 2 bedrooms. Isn't
Johnny
that right?
is not an accurate historian of what happened during
Ms.
that
Heard, Ms.
period
Heard,
of time. I'll guarantee
Ms.
that.
Heard, that's not my question.
Uh-huh.
5 bathroom doors, 2 bedrooms. That's what you knocked on.
I
That's
was
what
there.
actually happened in Australia, isn't it, Ms. Heard?
I was there.
So that's
I
no?
remember it. I knocked on
Wanna
one
answer the
bathroom
question?
door. I came on the first night after he decided to take the bag of MDMA.
Ms.
And I went
Heard,
to check
Ms.
on
Heard,
Motion to strike
you
that.
strike everything after I knocked on one bathroom
She
door.
can't do that. She's answering the question.
She is
Not
not
quite.
answering
She
the
Sorry,
question.
is
sustain the
not even
objection.
remotely
Just
close.
answer the question, okay? Now.
This judge doesn't strike.
Answering the
very many
question is not
times.
saying whatever you want.
Exactly
She's
what
been
happened in
she's been
Australia.
striking though, Rekeita.
Mr. Depp lost the tip of his finger after you threw a bottle at him. Isn't that right?
That is incorrect.
You're the one who assaulted someone with a bottle in Australia. Isn't that right, Ms. Heard?
I didn't assault Johnny in Australia. I didn't
Right.
assault Johnny ever. I couldn't.
And then after he was injured, he had to hide from you, right?
That is
In
incorrect.
5 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms.
That is incorrect.
And you would pursue him
That is incorrect.
because he was avoiding talking to you, right?
He did that first night when
he was
I tried to
avoiding-
talk to him about the drugs.
And he was avoiding working it out.
No, he was avoiding agreeing to not fight about the drugs.
You weren't scared of him at all, were you?
Mm.
I have a mixed relationship with Johnny, and one in which I'm scared, one in which I love him very much.
I'm not talking about your mixed relationship. That night in Australia, after you cut off his finger with a bottle, you weren't scared
Mhm.
of him at all, were you?
This is a man who tried to kill me. Of course, it's scary. He's also my husband.
That's not an answer to the question.
Nope.
Yep.
Ms. Heard, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 371.
Like Camille's going after her, and damn, holy, like
Do
wow.
not believe these have been admitted into evidence.
No.
Okay.
I don't have them.
Oh,
If we can scroll down, please. No.
Ms. Bretterhoff, if you don't have your microphone on, I cannot hear you.
again, does this woman not
You
know how
still
to
don't
turn
have
on a
it on.
Take
microphone?
that cat out of your mouth and use the microphone.
Seriously.
I need to take a look at the unredacted for a minute, Your Honor. Just bear with me.
All right.
I'm not admitting it into evidence yet. I would like to just
Okay. you
talk
can
to the
ask
witness
that
about it
question.
if I
Go ahead.
could. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Heard, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 371. Do you recognize these text messages between you and Dr. Cowan?
I don't recognize these, no.
Who's Dr. Cowan?
Okay.
He was my therapist that was recommended to me from Dr. Kipper. He and Dr. Kipper worked together.
He was your therapist at the time, correct?
That's correct.
So you don't
And
remember
you had
text
been seeing
messages
him for
between
almost
your
a year
therapist?
in March of 2015?
My guess would be about 6 months at that point.
I think Elaine's stalling with the mic.
Has she stopped looking
Your
away
text
from the
messages are in
jury?
gray, correct?
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that she show her the unredacted so that she can see the text exchange back and
Nope.
forth
If you
if
can-
she wants to talk about
Absolutely.
All right, we'll
moving
pull that up.
unredacted
Sure.
later.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Pull it up.
Okay, no problem. She hasn't been looking at the jury much lately, as far as I can tell. In the last, couple minutes. Oh, there we go. Little quick over glance.
Let's see. Richard S. says,
Seeing these unredacted messages, just this
Leighton
fresh
Breithoff.
recollection that these are indeed communications between you and Dr. Cowan.
No, I don't remember these.
Yes, that's correct.
Doctor,
so
your
proud of
text
yourself
messages
for
are in
that.
gray, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And Dr. Cowan's are in blue?
That is correct.
You see the text message at the bottom of the page from March 8th, 2015 at 8:29 p.m.
Yes, that's correct.
March 8th is the day that you were allegedly sexually assaulted by Mr. Depp in Australia, correct?
That is correct.
So on March 8th, 2015, you were in Australia
That is correct.
and Mr. Depp's finger had just been cut off, right?
That is correct.
And you write to Dr. Cowan, quote, "I feel so lost. I can't talk. I don't know if I'll ever be able to change," end quote. Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
You weren't able to change, were you, Ms. Heard?
I very much wanted to leave the relationship I was in, but I didn't have the power. I didn't feel I had the power to leave. I knew I was in a very toxic relationship with Johnny, and I knew I needed
that's
to
true.
change that. I knew it was, at this point, horrible for me. And I
I'm gonna
talked to
move
my
to
therapist
admit
often about that.
Defendant's Exhibit 371 as redacted with just misheard's messages.
All right.
Your Honor, I object because she has left out the next two lines from Ms. Heard that clarify even further. And I also think
Ms.
that Dr.
Bredehoff,
Cowan's.
This is-
Your Honor, may
exchanges
we
should be-
Yeah,
please
let's go,
approach?
let's-
This is
Elaine has done this several times.
She's
where
testifying.
she testifies on behalf of Amber Heard from the bench or from the table. This court clearly
this
does not
is-
allow speaking objections.
Oh man, this is getting
Yet she'll do
really
it
good.
constantly to narrate what's going on. Steph Depp says later
It's
than
been
Amber
called
Heard.
out.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, and that's why she's going to the bench right now. Your Honor, can you tell her to knock this shit off?
This bitch has got to stop, Your Honor.
Sanction. it.
Steph Dev says later than Amber Heard's divorce settlement donations.
Ooh.
Austin Olson,
For
here's
those
my
of you-
first installment
So
payment
for those of you who
the
don't know,
Rekeita Law Learjet. I'm
Rekeita
pledging
Law
10
is
million, so you can go buy that
constantly
jet right
late,
now.
and it's a running joke in his
The
in
best-
his
it's the
stream, by
best-
the way.
That is the best super chat meme. Is the pledge versus donate. Like that'll last for a long time. That's a good one.
That is
Richard
a good
S.
one.
Wouldn't be late if you were using OBS. Chininator,
Oh.
you're late. I want to speak with your manager.
OBS,
Wing
right here,
Paragon. Yesterday was
OBS.
brutal. Bring on the blood, Camille. Richard S. Morning, Shyster. What's the over under on Elaine's
Oh,
psychotic
man.
break today? Elaine's over there just religiously popping Prozac. Just she's got just a bowl of Prozac and milk.
Hey, Chad, if you're enjoying this stream, please make sure, like the stream, subscribe
Your
if you
Honor,
like
this
this
is
type of
improper.
content.
Your
This
Honor,
is
this
kind of
is
new for
improper.
us. And make sure to check out the link in the description for Rekeita Law's live stream right now. Make sure to go check him out if you're liking this content, and go subscribe to his channel, like his stream that's going on right now, and then pop back over here. Let them know you came from us over here. We do have permission to from Rekeita to be streaming this as well, so no worries on there. But this is the first time we're doing something like this on this channel, so let me know in the comments, let me know in chat whether you like this type of content or not. But we're getting right back into it.
Oh shit!
Over objection.
publish that to the jury.
Over
Thank you.
objection. Yep.
You couldn't get that into the
So
rule
you
of
write,
completeness.
Ms. Heard, to Dr. Cowan, I feel so lost. I can't talk. I don't know if I'll ever be able to change. Right?
And I said, I clearly can't figure this out, meaning the relationship.
What's that
You-
software they're using
I
there?
did.
No?
Not the relationship.
Uh,
Your text messages. Clearly, I can't figure this out. I feel so
Windows
lost.
ME.
What I was saying to him.
No, no,
is
no, Ms.
clearly I
Heard,
can't
Ms.
figure
Heard,
this
Ms.
out
Heard,
as in
that's
the
not my question.
relationship.
The text.
Answer.
Just the text.
That's
What
exactly
you
what I was
text,
saying.
what you texted. Clearly, I can't figure this out. I feel so lost right now.
That's
That's
what I
right.
was saying.
Okay. Thank you.
It's a trial presentation software.
Not
Someone
what
sent
you
it to me a long
were
time
meaning
ago.
to
It's really
say.
cool.
This
Yeah,
is
you
what
highlight something.
right,
you
and then
said.
it
Your
Your
blows
Honor,
it up.
just for clarification, so those two next lines did come in.
They are in the redacted
Okay,
copy.
good. All right, thank you.
Ms. Heard, you contend that there's another incident of abuse in March of 2015 after you and Mr. Depp returned from Australia. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And incident took place on March 23rd, 2015?
That's correct.
And this supposedly occurred in the penthouse at the Eastern Columbia building?
That's correct.
You had found text messages between Mr. Depp and another woman, right?
That is correct.
So you confronted him about cheating on you.
That's correct.
And this was about 2 weeks after you had returned from Australia.
That's correct.
So this is shortly after Mr. Depp supposedly sexually assaulted you with a bottle, right?
It was 2 weeks after he assaulted me. Yes.
And you decided to confront him about cheating on you?
I didn't decide to. I wanted to.
That's a
What?
Mr.
decision.
Depp's finger was freshly injured at this point, right?
He had a cast on it.
The top of his right finger had been cut off 2 weeks prior,
That is correct.
and he had a pin in his finger. True?
I don't recall when the pin was placed.
A skin graft?
I'm not quite sure. He had several different procedures and they were kind of spread out over a period of time. So I don't remember what happened and when
One of those-
exactly.
Procedures was to treat the MRSA that got on his finger too, right?
At some point, I knew he had an infection.
And his right hand was in a bandage,
You
right?
do not
It
pay
was
attention to your
casted.
husband that much, do you, woman?
Unlike
So it's
you.
your testimony that Mr. Depp was able to attack both you and
Like
your
I cut his finger
sister
off.
with his
I
hand
just don't
in
care
that
about what
state,
happened
right?
afterwards.
That is correct. He had a hard plaster cast on it.
Debbie Lloyd was present in the penthouses when Mr. Depp supposedly attacked you. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
In fact, you claim that Mr. Depp threw a Red Bull can at Miss Lloyd that evening.
Yes, that's correct.
And
Why
you
didn't
put
you
in a
ask her on
sworn statement
cross?
to that effect in the UK case, right?
That is correct.
But that's not true, is it?
That's what happened.
You know what a deposition is, right, Ms. Heard?
I've had several. Yes.
So you know it's when someone provides testimony under oath.
That is correct.
You're aware that Miss Lloyd was deposed in connection with this case, correct?
Oh,
That is true.
And Miss Lloyd's deposition testimony was played earlier in this trial, right?
I'm going to object, Your Honor. May we approach?
All right.
Yeah, you're
Your
gonna
Honor,
object
this is
because
harmful
this
to my
is gonna
client.
Very
destroy
harmful.
the
Your
credibility.
Honor,
of
I
this.
actually really oppose
like-
her bringing in anything from the record in this case. I think it's highly improper for her to do so.
Exactly. Exactly.
Exhibit view. Someone mentioned the software might be exhibit view, and that sounds right. I don't remember specifically, but yeah, I remember there was some trial where they were using it, and I was like, "That is so freaking cool!" They highlight something and it just pops up bigger.
Yeah, that is
I mean,
that is cool.
Rekeita, you've been streaming trials nonstop, so I mean, you're the best person to testify to this. The use of technology is so much more fluent and smooth in here compared to the Potter trial, compared to a lot of the other trials we've seen, where it's just like booming
So in a deposition, Ms.
24/7.
Heard, you know it's when someone provides testimony under oath, right?
That's correct.
And you're aware that Miss Lloyd was deposed in connection with this case.
That's correct.
And Miss Lloyd's deposition testimony was played earlier in this trial.
Yes.
So you heard Miss Lloyd testify under oath that Mr. Depp never threw a can of Red Bull at her.
I can't remember if she didn't recall that or if she said it didn't happen. I don't remember.
She
I
might
vaguely
remember
sense she didn't recall
something being thrown at you.
Yeah, for real.
So it's your testimony that Miss Lloyd would forget that Mr. Depp, a very famous patient of hers, threw a can of Red Bull that nearly missed her, according to your version of events?
To be fair, I just don't remember if she said when she testified that she didn't recall that incident or if it didn't happen. I don't remember what she testified to, but I have a vague sense that she didn't recall much at all.
Oh.
She recalled
What?
when she testified in this courtroom that Mr. Depp never threw a can of Red Bull at her. That was her testimony, wasn't it?
I don't recall what her testimony was with regards to that one incident. no.
Play it.
Let's
You actually
bring it
filed
up.
a
Do
complaint
it.
against Ms. Lloyd's
Let's
nursing
bring it up.
license right before she was supposedly deposed in this case, didn't you?
Ooh.
No, I don't believe I did.
Are you aware that someone filed a complaint against Ms. Lloyd's nursing license in connection with her care of Mr. Depp for failing to report abuse?
No, I had no idea. You're the first person to let
Bullshit.
me know about that.
It's your testimony under oath. That wasn't you.
That is my testimony. I didn't even know about that until now.
Travis McGivern was also present when Mr. Depp supposedly attacked you, correct?
He walked in at some point.
And you heard his testimony that it was actually you who punched Mr. Depp. Isn't that right?
It's always been my own testimony that I hit Johnny.
And you who was throwing things at Mr. Depp.
I hit him in defense of my sister. I didn't have anything to throw at him. I never threw anything at him. I hit him when he attacked me and my sister, specifically when he moved for her. That's when I hit him.
So it's your testimony under oath. You threw nothing at Mr. Depp. Mr. McGivern's lying.
I have thrown things at Johnny.
No, no,
to
no.
be clear, but not that
thrown things
occasion.
that evening.
Not that occasion. Not on that occasion.
So it's your
Okay.
testimony, Mr. McGivern. Imagine that you were throwing things at Mr. Depp from the mezzanine level.
Look how
down
flustered she is.
towards where
Mhm.
Mr. Depp and Mr. McGivern were standing.
Well, he certainly wasn't going to say it about his client.
Why?
Why?
People testify against their clients all the time.
Exactly.
They're
Yep.
under
You
oath.
and Mr. Depp kept a journal together, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
You wrote each other messages in that journal, right?
That is true.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 91.
McGivern, the
I'm
base
only going to be showing you
Scotsman.
certain portions of this, so
He was
Came
amazing.
across
please
pretty.
call this Plaintiff's Exhibit
pretty credible.
91A.
Look at our cheeks today. She looks bruised. Camille's bruising her.
Is she drinking Pedialyte? Oh,
This
it's
is
Fiji
the
water.
journal that you and Mr. Depp
Pink,
sent
though.
to each
Mio.
other in electronic form, correct?
That is correct.
And if we could scroll
Fiji water
through,
and
these are all
pomegranate
entries that you
vodka.
made in the journal, correct?
Yo, chat, this is getting good.
Tom Grawl says Amber Heard's eyes are as dry as Ralph's woman when she looks at him.
Is it done? Yes.
The guns.
Oh,
I'm going to move for the admission.
Chad, if you're
offense
enjoying the
exhibit
stream, please
91A,
make sure to
and go
like,
ahead and
cross
stop
Amber's
the
subscribe, and turn on all
Increasingly green.
notifications. Let me know if you want to see
got a
more
big
of this,
black
by the way.
guy.
Okay.
Okay, so now we have an objection to Amber's statements, or we'll see. So they share a journal back and forth for communications, and they're trying to admit the journal, and Elaine is objecting.
Look, Amber Heard's so tired of this conversation. She just wants to go and get her facial and her nails done. She's so tired of having to answer these questions from this stupid little bitch in her white outfit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean because the questions are hard.
Camille is doing a
talked about all of this.
fantastic job, y'all.
I talked about all this. Well, let's
Seriously.
talk about your testimony. Well, I don't want to talk again about it because that might not line up the same way.
I don't think she
Dread
I don't think Amber
says,
Heard
will this-
realized that
Will this be
questions like
be
this
the
were
unbreaded
coming.
cross we've been waiting for? I might miss the beginning because I need breakfast. Buy a good brunch on me, Nick. Hey, thank you. Stephen Cooper says, when are you getting sponsored by ProVigil?
Chat, by the way, make sure if you haven't already, click the link in the description. That's going to take you to Rekeita Law's stream that we're watching right now. Make sure to go like that stream. Make sure to go subscribe to his channel as well. We are streaming this with permission. Let's get back to this. But and if you're liking this one, hit the like button as well. We'll do some more of that.
We've got the mic back on. Are we going to actually hear it?
He is
Let's
acting.
start with
Who
the
is
first
acting?
page. It's a picture.
Your Honor,
It's a picture.
they haven't given me the pages yet. Your Honor.
Writing them down.
That Star Wars girl says, stream
How you
doesn't show up
doing?
on my tabs or
It's
on
right
your
there.
channel.
That was happening for me too, with my streams.
Anyway, Camille looks great. People will make memes of her as an angel saving Johnny and smiting the wicked. I guarantee it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, right.
I'd say Amber is acting.
If you could please publish this to the jury.
We need some memes of Camille like a Valkyrie on a unicorn with a sword held above her head.
There already were
Yes,
some of
Johnny
her like
Depp
as
is an
Sure.
actor.
femme
So is
fatale.
On
Amber
the
Heard.
inside
Okay.
cover of the Love Notebook, correct?
That's correct.
And this is a picture of you and Mr. Depp.
That's correct.
You're in Australia in this picture, aren't you?
Yes, but that's much later once we returned.
You can see that Mr. Depp's right hand is bandaged, right?
Yes, that's correct. That was after it had recovered significantly. That's not what it looked like during the incident we were just talking about.
So this is a picture after the events in Australia in March of 2015, correct?
Yeah, yes, that photograph was taken months later.
We have the jury look at that photograph again, please. Let's now turn to page 3.
Just let it sit there. Look at how they look.
This is a note you wrote in the journal to Mr. Depp, correct?
That's what it looks like, yes.
This is actually the first note you wrote to him in this journal.
I don't remember what the first note was.
The date on this note is May 22nd, 2015, correct?
That is correct. That was during our honeymoon period.
This is just a little bit over 2 months after the events in Australia in March of 2015, right?
That's correct. We were back in a honeymoon phase. That was the period of sobriety I spoke
Back
about
in the
yesterday.
honeymoon.
Honey,
Mr.
back
Depp-
then,
After
so
Mr. Depp had allegedly assaulted you with a bottle, right?
It was after the stairs and it was after the Australia incident, yes.
And
And he
it's-
got clean sober and we went back to Australia.
It's also 2 months after you punched Mr. Depp because you allegedly thought he was going to throw your sister down the stairs, right?
I hit him when he swung at my sister. And this is written months later, yes.
You thought he was going to throw your sister down the stairs like he had thrown Kate Moss down the stairs, right?
He swung at Whitney and I had heard
That's
a
different
rumor,
testimony.
a vague rumor
Mhm.
about that. And so it's what I thought of.
It's the
In this
first
first
thing
message
that
to
came to
Mr.
your
Depp in
mind.
your journal, you write, quote, "True love isn't about just the madness of passion or instead picking the safety of peace. No, it's about having both, falling madly in love with your friend. That is what has surprised me perhaps the most, that I have seen in you the true bones of friendship and
Literally.
respect.
What?
But of
Literally,
course, I still, perhaps more than ever, want to rip you apart, devour you, and savor the taste. Fret not. XX
Bro.
Slim."
Yes, it's a love note.
Okay.
Did I read that correctly?
Yes, you did.
And you're Slim, right?
That's correct.
Ms. Hurd, I'm now going to ask you to take a look at the very last entry you wrote in this journal, which seems to be from April 8th.
I mean, again, it seems weird. I mean, this hot and cold thing.
It's typical though, Rekeita. I mean, this is something like people, especially with these personality disorders, they love that. They love the hot and cold situation.
That would be April
It's a
8th,
pattern.
2016, correct?
I'm not quite sure. I don't see the year written on there and I don't recognize it yet.
It would be a couple weeks. April 8th would be a couple weeks before your birthday, though, right?
That's correct.
Just to confirm, this is a note you wrote to Mr. Depp, right?
That's what it looks like, yes.
And on the second page of this note, you wrote the following. Quote, "I'm sorry I can get crazy. I'm sorry I hurt you. Like
shit.
you, I can get wicked when I am hurt, when I feel provoked, shattered. And last night I was. I felt abandoned about the Lily Rose thing, felt absolutely bewildered about your not coming home on my last night here, and was heartbroken and angry after many attempts in vain on my part to rectify the situation and make amends on the last night of what was otherwise a gorgeous trip with you. I'm so sorry for my part. None of this is
Legal
meant to be an
mindset.
excuse for hurting you,
Mm.
because the truth is, nothing is. There's never a reason good enough to hurt you. You are the last thing in the whole world who deserves it. Last person I ever meant to hurt. I love you, Steve. I am forever yours, Slim." Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
Who's Steve?
Johnny Depp. Their pet
Oh.
names are Steve and
Ms. Hurd,
Slim.
let's take a look at defendant's exhibit
From an old movie.
423, which is already in evidence.
All right.
Hey guys, if you like
This
the
is-
coverage and the commentary, please go ahead and click like on the
This is a
stream.
picture of you with
What
what
he
appears
said.
to be straight red marks on your arms, correct?
Those are scars from the broken glass.
And they're straight and
Bullshit.
red, right?
I disagree with how you characterize that, but they are red, yes.
And they're on your left arm.
Yes, that's correct.
Ms. Hurd, you have a history of cutting yourself, don't you?
I do not.
Yeah.
You cut your arm once as a teenager, isn't that right?
No, I said I wanted to. When I was put on birth control pills when I was a teenager, I felt crazy. And I said, I
No
felt
kidding.
suicidal.
So it's your testimony under oath that you didn't report to Dr. Hughes, your retained psychologist, that you had cut yourself as a teenager once?
I said I had told my mom that I wanted to when I was a teenager.
It's not what her note says.
No.
Ms. Hurd, we heard some testimony from you yesterday about a trip you and Mr. Depp took on a train in Southeast Asia. Do you recall that?
Yes, that's correct.
By the way, chat,
when you and Mr.
this might be the
Depp
first
went
time
on
I'm
your
live
honeymoon.
covering it, but I've been following this trial since the beginning.
And
Just
that was
an
in July
FYI.
2015.
So I'm not
Yes,
just
that
agreeing with
sounds
what Rekeita says. I've actually
Take a
watched
look
all
at
this as
Plaintiff's
well.
Exhibit 162, which is already in evidence.
This weird picture.
You were
where
here in
everyone
this
looks
courtroom,
coked
right,
out.
Ms. Hurd, when Malcolm Connolly testified to taking this picture?
That's correct.
Oh,
This
she
is a
looked high
picture.
as
This picture shows an injury
fuck.
to Mr. Depp's face,
It is
doesn't
not
it?
a good picture.
I disagree. I've seen
He
this
looks-
picture.
oh,
okay,
he
Ms.
looks-
Hurd,
I've seen
I
this
got the
picture
Oh, he drunk.
Thank you.
before, and
You
he's
disagree?
not injured in it.
He's not injured in this picture.
Mhm.
That's your testimony. Fine.
This one is
Ms.
Photoshop.
Hurd,
It's
Oh!
I have your
Photoshop.
answer. Thank you.
Strike.
Did she just claim it was an
This is
edited
the only
photo?
photograph from our honeymoon that shows someone with an injury, correct?
That's not true.
We haven't seen any photos of injuries to your face from that train trip, have we?
I don't believe my face was injured on that trip.
Let's take a look at Exhibit 91A.
His
on
face looks
page
really red.
46. Going back
Sorry,
to
Chad.
Love
If I look
Journal.
over here, it's because I have the full screen version on this monitor, by the way. of what we're watching, like right here.
This is a note from you to Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
This is a note you wrote on July 22nd, 2015.
That is correct.
And it starts off with the words, "My husband, happy honeymoon," right?
That's correct.
Ms. Heard, please take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 91A at page 67. This is another note from you to Mr. Depp in your journal, right?
That is correct.
And this one is dated August 1st, 2015.
That's correct.
And you write, "That's enough. You've held this book hostage long enough. Although I can't wait to read my note, I also couldn't wait to tell you how much I adore you. What a beautiful, extraordinary, magical, memorable, wonderful, stunning, surprisingly evolving, and impulsive adventure. I couldn't have imagined a more gorgeous honeymoon. I love you more and more every passing day. XX Slim." Did I read that right?
I got to write that down for my next wedding anniversary. That was pretty good.
Take a look at the journal entry on page 68.
Well, that was beautiful, Andrew. Yeah, you came up
Got it
with
from a
all on my
psycho.
own.
Yeah. See, the hot part is good.
This is another entry from you
A Hallmark psycho collection.
writing to Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
And this one's dated August 2nd.
I will eat your
That is
soul.
correct. Yes.
And this one is a longer one, so let's go to where it ends on page 70 of the journal.
Yeah, the non-cursive text in that last note sure looked like the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might just
I'm
put those pictures up side
surprised
by side.
Depp's team
And you
didn't
write,
get
quote, "I hope that things said in
handwriting
anger and
analysis or
pain
anything
were
done on
just
that.
that. And that you miss and love me too. And that is what matters most to you. You may say you stand by everything you said and did, and that there is nothing you can learn from this, but I don't feel that way. And it's important for me that you know that. I love you and I'm sorry. I miss my warm, loving husband, XX Slim."
That is correct.
And sad, the word sad is crossed out.
That is true.
Next, we have a journal entry from you on page 89.
Sorry, chat. This is gonna get kind of this does get kind of boring at this point, just going over all this stuff.
This
But
one's
might have
this
some
is
juicy
another
things in
note
it. So
from
yeah.
you to Mr. Depp.
That is correct. The whole book is love notes.
So this is dated August 15th, correct?
That is correct.
And here you write, quote,
So you're testifying you
"My
just
love,
lied?
why do we fight?
all of them?
Ever? Why? I love you more than anything else. Are we that uncomfortable with being vulnerable? Were we scared? Or is it something else? I don't know. But
It's
I'm sure
something
it's
else.
one thing. And if it's that I can't imagine my life without you. I love you. I will do better. I am sorry. X Slim."
Apparently,
Did I read
she's
that
made
correctly?
a lot of
That is
mistakes in
correct.
this relationship to apologize for.
It's your testimony. This was a love journal.
That is correct. It was primarily love notes and
And
you know,
apology notes from you to Mr. Depp.
the book was more of a love note book, and part of that communication, obviously, since we fought so much, it was important for me to, try to nurture as much peace as we possibly could. And when things were good, they were really good.
It's amazing when
And there's
all of
also
the
an opportunity for
testimony.
you to apologize to Mr. Depp for your behavior, isn't it?
I think it's important in every relationship to apologize when you're trying to move past fights.
Let's look at an entry from August 17, 2015, starting on page 90.
In every encounter, in every one of them, it's always just conveniently, well, this is just during
Here
the
you
good
write,
times,
quote,
and you got to
Yeah.
take all
"I'm
advantage
sorry
of the
I
good
shook
times.
the wheels so hard. I'm sorry we've tested the shocks and brakes to this point. God damn, I love you, Johnny. I love you. I am tied to you forever. You know that? So I'm tasked with making this work for that reason and many others, of which there are many. Let me try to fix this."
I mean,
All right, I want to say I know people in Hollywood are hyper emotional
Make your heart
and all
better.
this, but
he would prove how much he loved her by
Hell,
loving her.
this is a
regardless of
little
how
crazy
big
for
he
me.
was.
I need you. We need each other.
Maybe
You're my
this is why I'm single. I don't know,
cornerstone, my
but
heart,
this just
my
seems
all.
way
You are my
overboard for me.
life. I hate it when we fight. I hate having you hurt. I hate that you're hurting. I love you more than anything. Let me prove it. I need you. I love you.
She forget how to spell
Slim.
your?
Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, another example of me trying to fix it. I was always trying to fix
You
it.
trying to fix it? Or
Fix
you
it by
trying to
apologizing for your
apologize?
bad behavior?
I tried everything. I tried apologizing. I tried reading. I tried therapists. I tried everything to fix
But
it.
yet you couldn't change like you told Dr. Cowan, right?
I couldn't change my relationship.
No. Couldn't change yourself.
Did you ever consider
'Cause you're
not
slightly
drinking?
psychotic.
Let's talk about December 15th, 2015 again. Erin Filati, your personal nurse, saw you 2 days after the incident on December 15th, 2015. Isn't that right?
She did not see me as in a medical visit. She just
By the
dropped
way,
off
folks,
meds.
these psychos
You
convince
late at night.
themselves of their version
Saw
of
you
reality. If you put her on a lie
She
detector
physically
test,
saw
she
me,
would
but did not
pass.
see
She'll
me in a
believe it,
medical
yeah.
sense, the way a doctor might see a patient. She did not see me in that way.
She was your personal nurse, right?
She was a nurse assigned to me. I didn't hire her. Johnny did.
She was assigned to you. And so when she would see you, it would be physically in person in your home and traveling, correct?
She would sometimes see me as like a medical professional would, and then other times she would just drop off meds and physically see me, like as in with her eyes.
You testified that during the incident on December 15th, 2015, Mr. Depp broke the bed, correct?
That is correct.
And more specifically, you described that he broke the bed frame with his boot while trying to get purchase. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Where's Rob?
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 509, which is already in evidence.
Here we go.
The knife on the bed.
Man, if I broke the bed on my honeymoon, I put a
Please have
plaque
that
on
published
it.
to the jury. Thank you. Mr. This is a picture that you indicated depicts the broken bed, right?
That's exactly it.
And it's your testimony that Mr. Depp caused this damage to the bed with his boot, right?
He did.
Is that a pocket knife on the bed there?
I cannot tell what's on the bed.
Did you use that to damage the bed?
I did not damage the bed. Johnny's boot did when he was punching me. I could feel him slipping.
Mr. Do you also testify that there was blood all over the pillows on the bed, correct?
On the pillow top, yes, that's correct.
On the pillow top?
But you didn't take a picture of that, though, did you?
Really? Where's
I did not take a picture of this.
So you didn't take a picture of the blood, but you
About
took
a week
picture
after
of
the
broken
December 15th, 2015
splinter off
incident, you went with Mr. Depp and his children to the island of the Bahamas. Is that correct?
The jury isn't buying any of
celebrate
this shit, I
Christmas.
guarantee you.
The incident was on the 15th and we went on the 23rd, I believe.
While you were there, you did a photo shoot with Greg Williams, correct?
A few days later, I think the photo shoot was about 2 weeks after this assault.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 99.
I wish I had a coffee maker in
Depp's
here.
Island shortly after December 15th, 2015, correct?
No, this was taken weeks later.
On the island, on that trip,
It was taken on the island.
on that trip,
Yes,
weeks later,
weeks later.
December 15th, you traveled to the island December 23rd. That's your
It's my
testimony?
recollection that this picture was taken on New Year's Eve or the first day of the year. I think New Year's Eve.
And this is the photo shoot with Greg Williams, correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection?
All right, 99.
Hey, she learned how to use a microphone.
Can we please have a zoom in to Ms. Hurd's face? Thank you, Tom.
Zoom to enhance.
No, this was weeks later. I wasn't bruised anymore.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 100.
They should have gotten the exact date that picture was taken. They really should have pinned down specifically what date from a
I'm going
calendar
to move
book,
to admit and publish.
from the guy.
All right, 100 in evidence. You can publish.
Ms. Hurd, this is another picture of you from that photo shoot, correct?
Yes, this is the same photo shoot that you asked me about earlier. And this
They
is
must have the dates.
couple
So
weeks later.
Amber, I doubt she's lying about the dates here. They
We
would
could
catch
zoom
her
in
on
on
it.
Ms. Heard's face. Thank you, Tom. Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 101.
So
And I'm
they're
going
trying to
move
show that
admit and publish.
again.
Any objection?
You were beaten,
Can we just have
and
foundation first,
you
please?
don't look.
This is a picture
I've had
from the photo
I've
shoot
had
Ms.
broken
Heard
noses. I've had
was
black
taken on the
eyes.
island.
Those
This
things
is
do
the
not
same
go
photo
away
shoot, yes.
within a matter
no
of
objection, yeah.
days.
All right, 101 in evidence can publish.
Especially the way she's describing how she was beaten. I have pictures of my face with black eyes from like a couple,
If we could please
4,
scroll-
5, 6 days later, a
zoom
week
in,
later,
excuse me,
that
Tom,
it's
on
still
Ms. Heard's
swollen.
face.
You can tell it's still bruised.
Your
underneath.
testimony, Ms. Heard, that you were wearing makeup
These
for
are
this
just
photo shoot?
bags.
That is correct. It's a photo shoot.
Notice the dark shadowing under your eyes, Miss Heard. The same dark shadowing you
We
claimed a
could please
black eye
pull up
everywhere
Exhibit
else.
102.
That was actually a good photo to show that. That
Yeah.
with makeup, she still
Perfect.
has the darkness around her
Ms.
eyes.
Heard, is this another picture from the photo shoot?
I can't exactly tell from the background. It looks like the same thing, but I can't really tell without it being
This is
zoomed
a-
out.
This is a picture of you, though, right?
It is
She's
a picture
feeling
of me, yes.
trapped now,
I'm
so
gonna
she's
move to
becoming
admit
more
and publish.
ambivalent.
All right, any objection?
I'm not going to object because she identified herself. I just, if she could identify when it was taken, that would help. But I'm not going to object. I'm not
No,
gonna object.
no objection.
objection.
Okay, there we go. 102.
Yeah,
That's what
all
I
that
needed to
matters.
know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right, what's this one?
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 103.
03.
I
Ms.
just
Heard, this is
realized
yet
right
another
now, legal
picture
mindset
of
is
you
right in front
from
of
that Greg Williams photo
his
shoot,
fridge.
correct?
I thought that
That
was
is
a
correct.
wall.
This is from the same shoot.
I'm gonna move to admit and publish.
No objection.
All right, 103 in evidence, publish.
And again, if we could zoom in on Ms. Heard's face.
I know people in the chat are saying the metadata from the photos would show up from the photo shoot. Probably not on these. These are probably
And
edited
finally,
photos.
if we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 104.
If they even got digital copies of
And Ms.
them.
Heard, this is a picture of you from that photo shoot, correct?
Yeah, a lot of that data is going to
Again,
be on
this
the
is
raw
the same photo shoot
raw image
weeks
file,
later.
by the way, y'all. Just to let you know.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, 104 in evidence, thank you.
Again, if we could zoom in on Ms. Heard's face.
Oh, that's a bad zoom. That's why you don't do zoom in enhance,
Grainy
y'all.
image, Tom.
You testified that you and Mr. Depp got into a fight while on the island in December of 2015.
I mean, one weird thing about professional
correct.
photos like this
and this
is
all started
they're
because
they're
Mr. Depp
photoshopped as a
off
matter of
on the trip,
course.
right?
I mean,
thought
they're
it was
always
happening
corrected by
again
the
in a similar
photographer. That's part of
fashion
the
to
art
what
of
he had
producing the image.
done, the previous year.
And when he nodded off, he spilled wine on you, correct?
Yeah, 2-3 times in a row.
You testified that Mr. Depp's son Jack was there when this happened, right?
At the beginning, he was there.
He was there when Mr. Depp allegedly spilled wine on you 2 or 3 times, right?
He was there for that because he offered me help.
You also testified that Mr. Depp then sexually assaulted you in the bathroom, correct?
That's correct.
And you testified that after this, you needed to get away from him, right?
That is correct.
So you ran out of the house.
That's correct.
And you admit you threw something at him, right?
I did throw something in at him to get away.
You sat in this courtroom when Tara Roberts testified, right, Ms. Heard?
I did.
She's Mr. Depp's manager on the island.
Yes, that's correct.
You heard her testify that she witnessed an argument between you and Mr. Depp on the island in December of 2015, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
And you heard her testify that Mr. Depp was trying to escape you, right?
I don't know if she characterized it like that, but that was
She
the
did.
gist of it. She kind of
that-
misrepresented it to seem like that. Yes,
Everybody
She
else
misrepresented
presented it.
How convenient.
that's correct.
Everybody's
And then you
lying
had to
but her.
apologize. because of
Everybody's
that,
lying
right?
but
That's
her.
what
No, that's
Ms.
not
Roberts
correct.
said. Begging him to come back to the house with you.
That's not correct.
Clawing at him. She used those words.
That's not correct. When she interrupted us, Johnny had me by the hair.
Yelling at him.
We were screaming, both of us, but I don't know what she would have heard.
Now Johnny had you
And
by
that
the hair.
she observed an injury on Mr. Depp's nose from something that you threw at him, right?
I don't know what she observed.
You also heard Ms. Roberts testify that she included all this information in a sworn statement in the UK in May of 2020. Isn't that right?
That is correct.
You put in a witness statement in response to Ms. Roberts' statement in June of 2020. Isn't that correct? In the UK?
I did several, I think 7 witness statements, and each one contained different information as per recent filings. That's what counsel has you do.
Asking about
And
the
in
specific.
response to
case.
previous filings, correct? Including testimony from people that contradict your story?
Sort of. So what you have to do is your counsel asks you to respond to things and you put it in a declaration of sorts. And that happens back and forth
Oh
over
my
the course of
gosh.
preparing to go to trial in that country. And that's what I
Hey,
did.
let's mansplain
So
to the
that was
jury.
your 5th witness statement submitted in the UK.
I don't recall which one I was asked to comment
She-
on Tara
Let-
Roberts'
She's
testimony.
I'll
telling
remind
you.
you.
She's telling you.
Don't worry, we'll
It's
get
your
there.
fifth
Have
one.
Ms. Heard's 5th witness statement from the UK.
Crushing on Curry says abuse has many forms. His career was in trouble before the op-ed. Let's take bets. Which part of Amber Heard's legal team's strategy will she blow up next?
Thank you.
Bro, chat, I'm just letting you know the super chats over in Rekeita's stream
Your
are
testimony that it's your
absolutely
lawyers who cut
fire.
off Johnny's
That
fingers.
chat is amazing. So
I didn't
sorry
have
we don't
control
have
over
all
them.
that,
They
but
just-
you
they
can
just
go
started
watch
cutting.
that in the link in the description below.
It's amazing.
It's linked to his
Again,
stream.
So now we've gone from the island being a fight where she threw something to get away from Johnny Depp or something to him grabbing her by the hair and dragging her there. The hair is matriculating into every story she's ever
Directing your
told.
attention, Ms. Heard, to page 6 of your 5th
Surprising
witness
she has
statement.
any hair. Yeah, legal mindset
It's
saying
here
everybody
that you
lies but Amber.
describe
That's what it's going
the
to right
December
now.
2015 incident, correct, on the island?
I haven't read through the statement. I just don't know if I had commented on it before. In a previous witness statement, as I said, there were several.
But starting on page 6, Ms. Heard, you describe the incident that took place on the island, correct?
That's correct, but what I'm trying to say is
I
I'm not sure if
understand.
I describe it in full in this statement.
I'm going to show you
Would anybody
Or
going to be
confidential
surprised if Amber Heard was
schedule
next
to
on
the
trial for
fifth
driving a
statement.
carload of
the
kids into a
company
river?
witness statement in the UK.
Jeez.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Chat, keep an eye on her facial expressions.
I love that she just basically said, well, I don't know that I wrote down the full thing when I was responding by writing to a specific event in preparation for trial as a witness.
Yeah. Also,
I left some stuff out.
look for stuff like
oh,
that.
Oh,
yeah.
did you? Okay. But the other people must be
In
lying.
the confidential schedule to your 5th witness statement, paragraph 1 on page 21. You describe Mr. Depp sexually assaulting you in the Bahamas of December 2015, right?
That is correct.
Allegedly.
And that's the first time you ever claimed that Mr. Depp had sexually assaulted you in the Bahamas.
That is incorrect.
You only submitted the confidential schedule in the UK claiming Mr. Depp had sexually assaulted you after Miss Roberts had said that she saw you on the island chasing, clawing at Mr. Depp. Isn't that correct?
That is incorrect.
Oh.
You could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 394.
Camille's got receipts. You need to come correct.
So, Your Honor, this
That
is another
folder is giving me
recording. I
Kaylee
can represent
McEnany
to the
vibes.
court. This only contains Mr. Depp and Ms.
Let
Heard's
me turn
voices.
to this page.
I'm going to move to admit the entire recording. I'm only going to play from 1:17:44 through 1:20:02.
All right, any objection?
Which plaintiff exhibit, Your Honor? I'm sorry.
394.
394.
I think I have no objection. to
All
that one,
right,
Your Honor.
I'll go with
I
that.
think I have
All right,
no objection.
394 in evidence.
Thank you.
Sure, we'll see how it goes.
Get your shit together, Arlene.
I think I have no objection.
See, the lawyers agree with me.
I say when I say I'm going to try and change X, Y, and Z thing or network or blah, blah, blah. I can only do those things.
What things have you been doing?
Working on this thing, not doing this sort of thing, trying to change. That's last several times.
Hence screaming when I spilled wine accidentally on you for falling asleep and screaming in front of my kids and freaking Jack out. And that's trying.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Johnny.
That fucked him up, you know.
I'm sorry I fucked your son up.
No, it weirded him out. It never.
I'm so sorry I fucked your kids up.
You didn't fuck my kids up, but it was pretty fucking. It was pretty fucking weird for him, you know.
Because I jumped up and screamed at everyone. No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm surprised, Jason. So you're going for the countdown. I'm sure that's terrifying.
I don't need your
No,
your clever
some against me.
comebacks. No, you think you're controlling yourself. You think you're controlling yourself.
Characters become so clear, especially when you use them. It's embarrassing for you. I'm gonna walk away now because you're actually
Oh wait, now walking away is okay.
making me see even worse. And believing me, I'm not gonna be calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning after having an Ambien and think, oh, I'm gonna just fucking forgive and move on. Trust me, it is gross how you're using your kids. I've done nothing but be there for them in a good way. And if you take that for granted, fine. You're right. Meet a woman who would not jump up and scream if you've been spilled on 3 times in a row. And I hope you're happy with whoever that is, because that would be a special kind of fucking person. No doubt.
That does
So you and
not
Mr.
look good
Depp in
for
that
her.
recording, right?
That's correct.
And you're discussing what happened in the Bahamas in December of 2015, right?
No, that's not correct. We were discussing a part of it.
You're discussing
Asking what happened.
when you screamed at Mr. Depp in front of his children, correct?
No, we were talking about a part of that argument.
Including when you screamed at Mr. Depp in front of his children.
That's not a fair characterization of what happened.
That's what's in the
Mr.
audio.
Depp
That
says
is
you
literally
screamed
what
at him
was
when he
you all were
accidentally
talking
spilled
about.
wine on you, correct?
I realize that's what Johnny said.
Yeah. And Mr. Depp tells you that this freaked out his son, Jack.
Johnny often used other people to back him up in our arguments.
Don't seem too concerned about that, do you?
I had a lot of concerns.
You don't mention Mr. Depp sexually assaulting you in this recording, do you?
That was not the point of that conversation. If I had gotten into the details of what happened to me with him, it would have been another fight.
You just accused Mr. Depp of, quote, using his kids, right? In that
He
recording.
would often
misheard.
use other people, yes.
And you challenge him to find a woman who will not, quote, jump up and scream if she has been spilled on 3 times in a row.
That is correct.
Not a woman who would put up with sexual abuse, right?
I was pointing out the ridiculous nature of him expecting me not to react to something that basic.
Your Honor, would this be a good time for a break?
All right, we can do that. That's
Thank
fine.
you, Your Honor.
All right,
ladies
you have
and
2
gentlemen,
things
let's
to
take our
complain
morning
about. He
recess.
spilled
All right.
wine on you.
Great. That
Or
means
he
I go
raped you.
refill my drink
You
and take a
complain about the spilled wine.
Rekeita's
That's the
not
thing
gonna
you
like this,
complain
but
about.
I'm gonna take a quick smoke
That's
break.
credible.
I might have to
Yeah.
get Rekeita on me to give me some motivation to quit
I
smoking.
really
But
wish
that
they
being
would have nailed
said,
down the dates on
we're
those
gonna go
photos
ahead
better,
and turn
though.
down the audio on this
to
a
me,
little
that,
bit.
That part of the testimony
Um,
fell kind of flat.
So, but
'cause
we will be
she
right back here
effectively
in
said, yeah, this
just a
is
bit.
weeks later.
It's
It's like, okay,
I will
well,
be
what are
right
you
back
showing
in
me?
just
I
a
like
bit.
the
I'm gonna
one
have these
black and
guys
white
on
photo
here.
just because it shows how
Um,
dark
Back
her,
at 10:47 then? All
I
right,
will be
10:47.
right back. Enjoy the
how
stream.
dark her
While we're away, make
eyes
sure.
are, and I think
Yes.
While we're away, make sure to go click the description in the link below. Go over to Rekeita Law stream, like the stream over there. If you want to subscribe, make sure to leave them a like though, and drop a comment. Tell them you're from TwistedLyfe stream. Tell them I say hi, and I might throw something in his chat here in a minute. And yeah, we'll be right back. And again, if you're liking this stream, if you're enjoying the content, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more, and make sure to turn on notifications, because if y'all are liking this, we might continue on through the rest of the week, seeing how today goes. All right. So put
well,
these guys
the
back
rape
on.
this was Bahamas. This would have been
I don't know where the audio. Why
let's
can't I hear
see,
the audio now?
August to December, 4 months later.
Oh, did I just mess up the audio?
After the rape.
What's going on?
4 months post rape.
Oh, okay. All right.
What's
Sorry.
going
that's-
on with the audio?
That's why, and that's why, like, I don't think this ended on the highest note for
that's
going
on.
into break because of that too.
happened?
It's like this is kind of blunted by
happened?
that. I actually get what Amber's saying when she says that wasn't the point of
There
this
we go.
conversation.
Oops.
Like bringing up the rape is,
All right, Chad, I'll
is
be right back.
kind of weird. I mean, I think the purpose is to have the jury in the mindset that, yeah, he did this most horrific violation ever. And here she is. And this is what I think was kind of effective. Here she is writing these love notes, making apologies, all of this stuff, and then going to the Bahamas with him. She doesn't seem concerned that she's about to be raped again.
Yeah, I
That
see a
I
lot
think-
of people in the comments saying that there was also a sexual assault she alleged right then, in conjunction with the wine spilling event.
Well, she's alleged a lot of. I mean, she's added a lot of sexual assaults in, right? We had the incident that she testified to during direct of the grabbing her by the Trump incident, pretty much. You know,
Right.
grabbing her by the pelvic bone. That was new information that came out of nowhere that we never heard before anywhere or from any other source. So I mean, you're right. I mean, Andrew, it's hard to track these, right? It's hard to track all these incidences she's now alleging of sexual assault.
But
I
then,
think
but then they have to do it explicitly on cross. I mean,
Right.
they can't allow this stuff to remain ambiguous.
True.
Yeah.
The one thing I think she did do good to give a positive part here was I think it was important to play that last little bit of testimony to show, and Johnny had the response. You know, you could hear Amber being evasive, giving those non-responsive, those sort of smart alecky responses. So you're seeing that her behavior in court mirrors that of in the relationship.
Yeah.
That's very congruent.
And another good thing, she's gotten her to call other witnesses liars. Which, if I had to guess, because if I were running the case, this is what I would do. I'm not them, but Dr. Muffin Mommy is coming back. And Dr. Muffin Mommy is going to re-emphasize that histrionic personality disorder people can never be at fault. Everybody else has to lie. Everybody else's story is always wrong. They accept zero accountability. And if they can powerfully bookend that on Amber Heard, I think that'll be really, really effective because, I mean, this is the problem with her testimony. She is always an angel. The only time she's thrown something or swung at Johnny Depp is because I was running away. I was reacting.
I was defending my sister.
Right. I was defending my sister. And, oh, well, no one else will tell the truth because they all work for him. Despite the fact that people get done in by contractors that work for them all the time, constantly. Like, I'm sure these people are well paid and have decent relationships. But at the end of the day, like if these guys are enabling Johnny Depp to sexually assault and repeatedly brutalize this woman, they will go to prison with him. Like,
Yes.
this is not going to be the best outcome. They'll lose their licensure. They'll go to prison. They'll face criminal charges. They'll face civil charges, potentially. I mean, that didn't happen here, but that's the risk of them trying to cover this up. Every doctor, every nurse, every bodyguard, every driver, every hotel staff, everybody ever is somehow just on the payroll of Johnny Depp and also willing to sell him upriver for no reason, despite the fact that he doesn't employ some of these people anymore.
Right.
And if it was true, they wouldn't be selling him upriver. Listen, if I was involved in that circle of people and he'd punched her in the face, I'd be testifying, yeah, listen, I like Johnny, but he punched her in the face. I saw it.
Yeah.
And you know, one person lying is one thing, right? One person is like, but multiple people now. You're saying, yep, they're a liar, they're like, I mean, maybe one person, maybe, hey, they saw it from a different perspective, but to say, no, they said this, that didn't happen. It's unbelievable. Her credibility is shot, which was already a problem with Amber. She already had an issue, and now it's even more lost.
Well, I love that. I think it was yesterday when she talked about her nurse's notes. Wow, there's a lot of things wrong with these notes. Oh, they're all incomplete. It's like, okay, the him her typo, I think it was male.
Yeah, let's go ahead and kind of
It said male
talk about
versus
what they're
female.
talking about right now. Let's see if we can catch
Scrivener's
up here.
error on that. Okay. But then he
So
used that to say that,
a little bit of my
that
thoughts
goes-
actually right now. Since I'm back, you got to listen to them for a little bit. I don't know. I might be repeating what they're saying. Couple of my things. Camille's absolutely killing it right now. Asking the right questions. And it's not looking good. It's like Legal Mindset held up the sign earlier. Everybody's lying but Amber. So everybody else, Depp security, the nurse, everybody else that has testified, whether it be in the UK or here, was lying. They don't remember things correctly. She exactly remembers everything that's going on, unless it's details that really matter, and then she conveniently forgets or she doesn't remember. That's not an accusation for anything, just laying out what's being put down there. You can see the frustration in Amber Heard's face. Again, this isn't a law. I'm not a lawyer, not like these guys. They do all the legal expertise and everything that's going on with objections and all this other stuff, and their legal opinions. My personal opinion, like if I was sitting on the jury, this is not looking good for Amber Heard. When it comes to the pictures, things like that, yes, the photos that were shown for her in Australia, obviously Photoshop. They were a professional photo shoot. They were Photoshop. Makeup was done. But other pictures, especially the ones that were shown yesterday, which we didn't cover, the ones that were shown yesterday of her directly after, the day after she was apparently, Johnny was on top of her, pounding her in the face, in which he always wears rings. And from experience, yeah, that doesn't go away overnight. That will show up a few hours later. If not, the next morning gets worse, especially after you wake up. So while your body's trying to heal, that's where the swelling comes in. That's where the bruising comes in. Again, this is a man twice her size that was on top of her, hitting her in the face with rings on. And she's on TV the next day. There's no amount of makeup that's going to cover that up. She's like, well, ice took care of the swelling. No. I've had it to where, in small altercations, been hit in the face, had a black eye, and my eye has been almost swollen closed for days and days. He didn't even hit me that hard. Not saying I'm soft, but he got a good shot in. It happens. And this was a guy that was about my size, if not a little bit smaller. And I'm not big. So you're not adding up there. It's just not adding up. But let's go ahead. Let's hear what these guys have to say. And
show the jury how it was staged by showing them the other 4 photos with the cocaine box gone. with all
okay,
these
so they're talking about the
differences,
table now.
because show them that Johnny didn't leave the table this way.
Yeah,
So
I
just
think that was hers.
Show them how the driver's license is moved in one part. Show them all of those different things. I think that would have been a much better approach to that.
So
I think that.
all right, so I'm gonna interject here again. I know if you guys want to watch the full coverage of them, by all means, go right on ahead. The link is in the description below, and Rekeita Law's live stream link is in the description. So my thoughts on the table. Now, I was born and raised in Miami. No longer live there, but I had a lot of friends who did a lot of things. That table is way too clean for somebody who, one, is somebody who smokes all the time. That ashtray is way too clean. I smoke. I don't clean my ashtrays that well, and I'm a little OCD about it, and I don't even clean them that well. They're always dirty. They're always dirty. You can never get that look like a brand new ashtray. The hand-rolled cigarette, not smoked. Okay. The 4 meticulously done lines of coke that are on that table. When I say meticulous, like nothing is out of place. Nothing. It never looks that good. It never looks that good. Believe me, I've seen it enough times. It really doesn't. I have never heard of using a tampon applicator as a snort straw. That's different. I've seen metal straws. I've seen, metal straws you get now because of used to be popular back then for to not use plastic straws anymore. Have, people cut down, round and over, have little straws, little metal pieces. They weren't actually straws, they're just, whatever stainless steel with the edges rounded off, make it nice and smooth. And they would use that because they could keep it in their pocket, they can keep it in their wallet, something like that. I've seen that. Never seen a plastic tampon applicator. We're talking about a multi-millionaire actor using a tampon applicator for cocaine. I'm sorry. I know people who make minimum wage that smoke weed that have $100 bongs. I know not the same equivalent, but still, like, that's just something you do. You have something there that's going to be a little bit nicer than a tampon applicator that her sister showed him how to use. Like, her sister's going to... I can't with this. This is it. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. We're going to listen to this, jump in and listen to this here.
The in-office was, I guess, just at the island office, which was the tent. They stayed in the yurt, I think. Death Trout, Rekeita Law, the grift never sleeps, should be on the t-shirt. Matthew Perkins,
we're grifting the grifter right now, chat. We're grifting the grifter.
Haven't changed. Your brain is still gelatin. Little whisper circle around your head. Why don't you worry about yourself instead? Metallica nailed the turd when they wrote those lyrics. BG Willia says, love the giggle fits y'all provide, but can't go full belly laugh because of hernia surgery. Oh, shit. Yeah, no. Keep it calm. Keep it tame.
Yeah.
Ray Marshall, turd is snickering while looking at the transcript going through the pages. She can't be dumb enough to think she can change her testimony now to fit being called out. Can she? There was a moment that really annoyed me. Camille didn't press her on it. And I know you don't during cross ask the open question, but she did say, this is the first time you've ever told the sexual assault story, isn't it? Or the first time you've talked about it. And Amber Heard said, that's not true. Well, now I want to know when the first time was. I want to know when she told the story other than that.
Yeah.
I want to know where that came out, because
I have a feeling we're going to get to that after the break.
Where is it? Same as these photos that she allegedly turned over. Where are they? What is it? Do you guys have it in your binder? I think these are some of those errors that I would like to see cleaned up, or some of those questions I would like to see cleaned up on this. And I think they're going to leave that one hanging. And I think that's a bad one to leave hanging. Well, if she told the sexual assault story somewhere else, where the hell was it? Who's lying to me? I mean, I think it's Amber, but I don't know. Do you guys?
There's a certain lack of precision here in the cross. That bothers me a little bit. I mean, they've had plenty of time to prep for this. They got to know she's going to lie at every opportunity. You have to be prepared to smack it down.
Yeah.
It seems like they've got their narrative, they've got their story, and she's working through it. And at least she doesn't get derailed from it too much. Although I will say today, it feels like the pace is a little less clean than yesterday. I'm not sure it's because Elaine is objecting effectively. It might just be because of the particular questions that they're asking.
Elaine's
but it's not flowing
objecting
as smoothly.
effectively.
I think it's a little bit harder to follow today.
Keeps getting knocked down.
Yeah, I agree. It is harder to follow. Yesterday felt like, like when they have 5 guys around the circus tent spike and they've all got the hammers like plink, 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 plink.
Yep.
Like that's what it felt like yesterday. She's just rolling through. And now there's something a little bit less to it. So maybe it was smart of Amber's team to have them split up the testimony over the 2 days. Maybe that was better because it broke up the momentum. But yeah, I don't know. There's something off on this cross where I feel like they're getting to the 2-yard line on a lot of these things and then not really carrying it across.
Not going in for the kill.
Let me ask you guys this. How much longer do you think they have here? Because I mean, I can see them taking another hour or two and wrapping this up. I don't really see this as them needing.
By the way, chat, we're only going to the lunch
they're
break.
Almost through the entire relationship. They're going to confront her on the bed thing probably again because it plays well, I guess, the taking the shit on the bed. And then they're going to hit her on the op-ed itself and the drafting of it with the ACLU. But I think this is going to go to lunch thing might be right.
Yeah, I mean, even if they could go longer, and I think they probably have the time if they wanted to use it, that would not be a productive use of the time. I mean, a full day of this would not be
No,
advisable.
if they had a full day of better stuff coming out,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it
that would be great.
It'd be great. But yeah, to me, today's cross is not as energizing as I want it to be, and I do feel like they're getting to these almost things, and for Johnny Depp, I don't think in a defamation case you don't want to leave any ambiguity, and I've got too much here from this cross. I really wanted a little bit more.
Yeah,
So,
and I
do you
agree.
think Camille
but
is holding back because she has some sort of strategy?
my thoughts
No.
is it would
Again, like
again, my thoughts on this
law
is
school
that
professors hide the ball, practicing lawyers don't.
he's right. There is a lot being left on the table right now. It seems, but my hope is it's gonna kind of all wrap up neatly before lunch. That everybody's assuming that we're gonna finish this before lunch, the lunch break. So I don't know. Some things might come back into play later on. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But they're the experts, they're the lawyers. But that's my hope on it. That's what I'm hoping to see.
I heard a vague
And we're back.
rumor that had happened to her. They're trying to walk that back and repair it because I think they're scared of whatever the Kate
Opening
Moss.
the door.
Yeah.
Possibly opening the door.
She's done that a few times, actually, kind of walking back previous statements. Apparently, I would guess for that purpose, to try to close the door.
But she's never talked to her attorneys about this. There's no way they've had a conversation about this.
Yeah, no, not at all. Definitely not.
Never.
By the way, chat, one more time, make sure if you're enjoying this stream, hit that like button. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe, leave a comment in the chat, let me know. If so, we will do this again tomorrow. And also make sure to click the link below. Go like and subscribe to Rekeita Law. His channel is absolutely amazing. I've been following along this whole trial and other trials along with him. We did get permission to go ahead and restream this broadcast while he is live. But go over there, say what's up in the chat, let him know TwistedLyfe sent you, and go show him some love over on his page. Throw him some super chats from me. And once again, we are grifting the grifter here on the channel for the Amber Heard trial.
That is correct.
Yes, that's correct.
But you weren't concerned enough to stop using drugs and alcohol yourself. were
Thank you.
There
I
we
did
go.
not use drugs when I was with Johnny, like in his
Bullshit.
presence, aside from the times I testified about with you.
Bullshit.
Or just those
So
times.
you weren't concerned enough to stop using drugs and alcohol the times you testified to in front of this jury, right?
As I testified to earlier, I took drugs in Johnny's presence on those two occasions early in our relationship in 2013.
Bullshit.
That's not
So
how
you
that
never
works,
changed
by
your
the
own
way.
behavior to support Mr. Depp and his sobriety, did you?
I did a lot of changing to support his sobriety. I tried everything that I could possibly think
Except
But
quitting
you
drugs
drink
and alcohol.
wine around
Except
Mr. Depp
drinking-
on a regular basis,
Except
correct?
quitting
of. I
drinking
did drink
drugs.
wine.
And you took Mr. Depp to Hicksville to do, quote, laughy drugs like mushrooms, end quote, right?
That's correct.
And you testified that despite what supposedly happened in Hicksville, you decided to take MDMA with Mr. Depp on a plane to Russia in June of 2013, correct?
As I mentioned, those are the two occasions.
So you didn't do
testified that
everything
this was the last
that you
time you would
could.
make that mistake, right?
That is correct.
And when asked if you would ask Mr. Depp to get you MDMA in Australia, you said that was, quote, ridiculous, right?
That is correct.
Because you had learned your lesson the hard way on the plane to Russia.
Russia, yes, that's correct.
Yours and Mr. Depp's wedding in the Bahamas was in February of 2015, right?
That is correct.
So that would have been after the Russia flight.
Yes, when I did, when we had mushrooms on the island for my hen party, my wet bridal party before. We were not with Johnny. I was not with Johnny at the time.
Was your wedding with Mr. Depp on the island, right?
To be clear, we were both on the same island. We just weren't around each other that evening. We had kind of separate parties, bridal party and a groom's party.
And your wedding was a month before Australia, correct?
She is taking with to
That
the
is correct.
extreme.
And you arranged to have drugs at your wedding, correct?
Like I said, we had mushrooms for my bridal party beforehand,
As if it's a food
On
item.
the island for your wedding.
before the wedding,
On the island?
on the island, yes.
Can we please pull up plaintiff's exhibit 1262?
See, this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nail her down
Yep.
on this. No one
Very
believes she
good.
only did drugs the 2 times that she testified to.
Yeah. I like the detail.
She just
An
did it
email you
precision
sent on
in the
February 1st,
presence.
2015, correct?
I would do this all day.
Mhm.
That is correct. Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish plaintiff's exhibit 1262.
Any objection? Yeah, sure.
Microphone.
And the wine thing. I mean,
So Johnny's got
every time Johnny drinks.
Okay, so yeah, he's gonna get into this. I'm gonna get into this as well. So she complains about his drinking, and wants him to get better, and says she does everything to help, but yet drinks around him. She's done drugs with him on multiple occasions. Doesn't like when he does drugs though, and has done drugs, maybe not in his presence, but has done drugs in other ways. So she hasn't gotten sober. She hasn't done any of these things. So yeah,
It's
Or
just
about
two,
self-defense mugs.
look at this gallery.
it's all $2 chuck in a jar.
Hey, is he looking
mean,
for his
again, that-
mushrooms now?
This is the thing. I tried everything. Well, except this, though. Except the one thing, which is his problem.
Guy
which
in the
is
gallery is
substance
looking for
abuse,
his
and You're not
mushrooms.
willing to do it. Look, if you've got a fresh alcoholic, you need to, and they're trying to get sober. The house has to be devoid. You have to go
Yes.
through like a Jewish
100%.
right? Not a scrap of flour cleaning up for fucking Passover, but you have to do it with liquor. You have to get some machine to suck it out of the floor because they'll suck it out of the wood floor if they can, if they have to, if they think they can get a little bit of that
Yes.
sweet, sweet buzz.
He is
I wanna see her
100%
in
correct
5
in that
years
chat.
when she's doing a Boone's Farm commercial.
So there's DUI
It's the
guy.
DUI
right
guy.
there. And then we got Chalet Painter's nice orange dress today. I'm appreciative of that.
Yep. It's,
Well, that's a good look for her. She looks pretty
Mhm.
today.
she dresses better than Amber.
That's the law in
That's the
Crime
girl you were
City, by the
saying,
way,
the
that they're
lumber guy
talking about
should
the
go
orange
after, right,
dress.
Rob?
Yeah, I think you should try.
I think they're
it.
He
trying to
should,
give
he should make a move on that. I would.
He should definitely get an interview with her. I mean,
one
what
of the
hell?
other law
and then
tubers.
get her phone number.
Yeah, that they're trying to hook him up.
If we could please have Ms. Heard's email.
Although picking up a broad at a sexual assault trial sounds a little iffy.
You're into this too, huh?
Schedule for your wedding weekend, right, Ms. Heard?
No, it's not. It's a proposed draft of a schedule. It ended up being quite different.
Do you see where it says 7 p.m. rehearsal dinner?
Yes, I see that.
And the next item on the list says, quote, after dance
party and drugs and music.
end quote,
Who
right?
puts that on their itinerary?
So you plan to have drugs at your wedding to someone you characterize as a drug addict?
To be fair, we were going to have separate parties, as I mentioned.
Oh,
So a bridal
after?
party.
Oh,
Separate rehearsal dinner?
schedule ended up
So
changing
there would
quite
be
a bit,
no
and this
leftover
is a
drugs.
draft, clearly
You're gonna do all the
sent before
drugs.
There were a lot of changes made. The bridal
So
party.
your
and
original
the
idea,
groom's
Ms.
party were
Heard,
separate.
Ms. Heard, your original idea was to have a rehearsal dinner with your husband, the drug addict, the monster, and then do drugs with your girlfriends on the island after your rehearsal dinner.
I realize that's what the email suggests, but that wasn't
No,
A
it's
plan.
not what it suggests, Ms. Heard.
That's what it
says.
said.
Email.
right. But what I'm trying to say is that the schedule ended up changing. We ended up doing the little,
So your
as I
original
called
idea
it,
was
cuddle
to do
puddle
drugs.
before.
Yeah, your original idea was to do drugs on an island after your rehearsal dinner to the drug-fueled monster that you were about to marry, right?
the as the email suggests, there was going to
Email doesn't
be
suggest.
weed on the
Look at
island.
Deb's male lawyer there. I forget his name. He's just nodding his head.
Just reference to you.
Ben Chu.
Ben Chu.
You
Gonna
like
be
to do
weed.
drugs on
You just
special
said
occasions,
mushrooms.
right, Ms. Heard?
I have before.
And you did drugs again for your 30th birthday, right?
That is correct. That was a huge mistake.
Your 30th birthday dinner was on April.
That's a lot of
21st,
huge mistakes you've
2016.
made.
Yes, it was the day before my birthday. Correct.
And you testified that Mr. Depp was running late to the celebration, correct?
That is correct.
And you asked Mr. Depp to bring you alcohol when he arrived. Is that right?
So the utility closet where we kept the wine was right by the elevators.
This is a
and
yes
I
or no
also told him
question.
He could bring in a joint. I wouldn't bite his head off if he did.
So that's a yes.
That's correct. I told him I wouldn't be angry.
Let's look at plaintiff's exhibit 1263.
He's over there cracking up.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask to show, first of all, this one hasn't been produced. This has not, it's a brand new trial exhibit, so I don't have it. I'd like an unredacted copy, and then I'd like an unredacted copy to be shown to the witness.
All right, do you have an unredacted copy?
We can make one, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, may we approach about this?
Oh, she's about to go like, what the fuck is this? Are you
Well, this
serious
bitch
with
is
this
doing it
shit right
again.
now? She is not happy. She is not happy with the cat lady.
Probably, actually. She's suggesting we haven't produced this. She said it wasn't produced. She said that they haven't. This is the first time it's a trial exhibit. It's like, you have an exhibit list. It's like a trial exhibit when it's introduced in court.
Even I
but
know this
it's
shit.
still an exhibit. Like, you have all of this stuff.
Yeah, I don't
I
believe
feel
for a
like-
moment Camille is just producing this unannounced at the last second.
No, certainly not on cross during the, maybe on rebuttal. You could do something like that if it called for it and if there was new evidence that was sufficient.
Right.
But I mean, like, again, it's the inferences that Elaine is throwing in there. This is probably why people hire Elaine, because I don't think she's all that competent on the technical issues of being an attorney. She didn't seem that great at doing her direct exam of Amber
But
Heard.
she will do whatever the fuck you want, right? I mean, like,
Exactly.
literally, if you pay her to dance with a monkey in a hat with a tambourine, she's gonna fucking do that. Like, that's Elaine.
Well, how much?
Give her the money. She'll
Yeah,
do
just
whatever.
We can crowdfund it.
Here we go, chat. Let's get a GoFundMe for that one.
She's got to pay for those cats somehow.
After the interview, no matter what happens, Elaine, so how are you feeling about your paycheck? All of it's already going to Purina.
She's paid in cats. She just moved into a shelter, a cat shelter.
They just bring her like a shopping cart full of cats. There's a ball of them moving around and mewling. That'd be awkward. But I'd see it happen.
That
You
would
open
be
up the door of her house
hilarious
and
to
it's
watch.
like the original Star Trek, Trouble with Tribbles, a bunch of cats just pour out.
Yeah, Camille's probably going, Your Honor, we have
But of
all
course,
of this. They have
like
all
Trouble
of
with
this.
Tribbles, they'd all be
They're
dead.
trying to just waste our time.
There'd be a bunch of dead cats. You're like, this one is
You can still pet
Patches.
'em.
This one is Mittens. This one is Buttons. This
Oh,
one is
jeez.
also Patches.
They're so much nicer when they're not so noisy.
G-Man says Hollywood people tell stories out of order all the time. Have you ever seen Memento, Pulp Fiction, Inception? The best stories are a tangled mess.
I like it.
There should be someone in the gallery with a phone with a soundboard. Just every time Elaine talks, just meow, meow.
Probably got taxidermied cats on like little railroad tracks all around her house.
On a train track.
They bring her like a little tea saucer.
Meow meow. Little taxidermied cat like grandfather
Oh,
clock,
man.
cuckoo clocks.
No, she just
these
has
guys are
all those
hilarious.
ones with the cat like this with the swinging tail.
Except
and
it's a real
eyes that go
cat.
back and forth. Yeah.
I'm going to show the unredacted messages to counsel for Ms. Heard on a laptop because I don't have a hard copy.
Okay.
Where's the portable printer?
Yep. Let's just pause for a minute.
What's that?
Random 11 says, wouldn't it be better to use Johnny on rebuttal to bring in the other photos of the table where Amber can't add testimony explaining away the difference? Johnny didn't take those photos. You can't get him in through them.
Yep.
That's the problem. That's the one problem with those photos is that they're from Amber Heard, but they're from Amber Heard. She took the one photo. She clearly took the rest of the photos. I mean, you gotta bring them in. Is my opinion. Friedland Research says donating $20, pledging $4.8 billion. This $20 is covered by Elon Musk, but please make sure to credit it to me. Amber Heard. Thank you, Elon. I mean, Amber.
So, Ms. Heard, I'm looking to-
Your Honor, I'm going to object to asking questions while I'm looking at this.
All right, if you could give her a moment, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Jay Dayhoff,
she's
hello
gonna
from
take her
Indiana,
time
Nick and
reading.
friends. Been watching you grow for years, Nick, and I tip my hat to you, sir. Great channel, great grift, great job. Question, is this the craziest thing you've seen in court or what? God bless. No, I mean, so far I still put Richie McGinnis as the craziest thing we've seen.
That was crazy. That was
the
insane.
biggest WTF moment in a court case that I've watched so far. I'm pretty sure was Richie McGinnis when Binger asked him, "Well, how'd you know he was trying to grab Kyle's gun?" And he said, "Well, he said fuck you and reached for the gun." And it was like such a like I just got that, the fire meme where the dude flies back into his friends. Like that's what happened in
I've got
real
a better
time.
one than that. In the Zimmerman trial, the state had a witness, Trayvon Martin's purported girlfriend, who'd made a contemporaneous written statement about what happened that was very damaging to George Zimmerman. And the defense asked her to read it on the witness stand, and she couldn't read her own purported note because it was written in cursive, and she can't read cursive.
Any
That was-
objections?
Yeah.
He has
Oh,
redacted.
that's
No, you're right.
insane.
1263 happens.
So-
Thank you.
That's
Thank you, Your Honor.
insane.
Ms. Heard, directing your attention to the Plaintiff's Exhibit 1263. This is a text message that you sent to Mr. Depp, correct?
That is correct.
And you sent this message to Mr. Depp the day you had your 30th birthday dinner, right?
That is correct.
And you write, quote, "Hey, baby, bring up something to drink and or a joint.
And/or
I'm in if you are. See you in a minute, question mark, XX." Did I read that right?
That is correct.
It never
And
supported
then the
drug
next day
use.
you went to Coachella and consumed MDMA and mushrooms, right, Ms. Heard?
I did. Johnny was not there for that.
Well, it's
Talk
fine
a
if
little
he's not
bit more
there.
about your 30th birthday. You testified about this incident multiple times, haven't you?
That is correct.
But yesterday, you told this jury that you were not called upon to provide a detailed accounting of all physical and sexual abuse by Mr. Depp until February 2020. Is that correct?
I testified that I had not been able to do so until February 2020 in outside of the context of a cold deposition.
Actually, I misspoke. February 2022, this year.
Right. Sorry, I did the same thing you did.
Kind of
You're
like
just agreeing
you have
with her.
borderline
And
personality disorder.
you did that in something called an interrogatory.
or histrionic personality.
The interrogatory response was the first time that I could do that outside of the context of being asked certain questions in the deposition.
And you testified about your 30th birthday in this interrogatory, correct?
I believe so. Yes.
Nonetheless, you testified to a new detail about your 30th birthday for the first time in this courtroom, didn't you?
No, that's incorrect.
A sexual assault, no less.
I had just not placed when that happened. I was never sure if that was the same time that he did that on the night of my birthday.
You weren't,
And I
you
had
weren't
made
sure when
that
it
all in my
happened?
deposition.
What?
You told this jury that the evening of your 30th birthday dinner, Mr. Depp, quote, grabbed you by the pubic area, end quote, pushed you down, right?
That is correct.
This detail isn't in your interrogatory response, is it, Ms. Heard?
That detail is in my interrogatory response. Yes.
It
Well,
is?
your interrogatory response. If you could please bring up.
By the way, I missed a
Again-
big chat earlier from Von
Start it off.
Bismarck. Hit that like button. Let's get to 10,000 likes.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, a great stream like always, Rekeita. Stay unbreaded champ. Thank you, Von Bismarck.
Nice.
We'll
Yeah.
just pull up your
This
interrogatory
woman just
response.
has the receipts. Come
Well, I
on,
like
you
this.
should
This is
know
what they
this
need to
by
do. Just
now.
literally,
Just tell the
completely showing
truth.
she's fucking lying. Like,
Right.
we need some proof. Like just pinning her to the wall on this and getting her to give one of those smart ass, snarky remarks to show that when she says those, presume she's fucking lying.
We could
I'm
go to your
really just
interrogatory-
hoping she like
interrogatory
really gets
responses
under
on
her
page
skin, but
57.
And this is another
These
highlight
are
of,
signed under penalty of perjury, correct?
That is correct.
of the Me
You
Too
testified
era.
again to this jury that this was
Acceler-
the first time you were given an opportunity to write down everything and include all your evidence, right?
That is correct.
Let's go
Accelerating
to page
claims.
57.
This thing isn't working. I now the claim has to get more dramatic, and you can watch it on every Me Too case, real or fake ones. It doesn't matter. It always starts like this. Well, it was this. Well, no, it was this. Well, no, it was this. Until the scale tips, then
Yeah.
suddenly that's the story.
Right. It becomes the whale, and this thing has become beyond the whale. I mean, this is preposterous at this point.
At the top.
I mean,
of
next he would have been
57,
raping her with a
Barney
Chevy
Island,
Suburban.
place, I begged him to make my birthday dinner. Do you see that?
jeez.
That is correct.
Come on, Bronco.
So starting on page 57, you start describing your birthday dinner, correct?
That is correct.
All right.
By the way, Chad, thank you for sticking around. I really do appreciate it.
On page 59 of your interrogatory response, you write, fourth paragraph down. Johnny grabbed me while holding me down, and I remember him asking me if I thought I was so tough.
Who,
He
Amber?
asked me 3-4 times up close to my face, "You're so tough. Are you such a tough guy, huh? You think you're so tough. What are you going to do now?" I stood up at some point after getting off the ground. Do you see that?
That is correct.
And then you write after, "I remember crying. I remember feeling exhausted and frustrated. And it hit me, meaning the realization of how sad it was that I was going to wake up tomorrow, my birthday, without him."
That's correct.
She said grabbed, so that meant
Where in
grabbed
this
by the
interrogatory
vagina.
response, Ms. Heard, you describe Mr. Depp, quote, grabbing you by the pubic bone, pubic area, and pushing you down?
On page 64.
Where?
Speaking of,
Page
you talking
64.
about Amber, or are you
1,
talking
2,
about
3
the lawyer?
paragraphs down. Johnny grabbed me once, did this taunting thing on the side of the bed in penthouse 3. He grabbed my vagina and held me there. Asked me if I was so tough.
You're not describing what happened after your 30th birthday?
I am. I just had not prescribed it to that date with the limited evidence I had at the time. Only in the course of looking at the evidence, preparing for this case, have I put those two pieces together. But I've always said what happened.
Well, Camille,
So
the
you
lawyer is
didn't know
Camille
when it
Vasquez,
happened
and
until you
Vasquez and,
suddenly knew when it happened while preparing your
You were upset that
interrogatory.
She's
Mr. Depp
Hispanic.
was late to your 30th birthday, weren't you?
I was.
You knew Mr. Depp had a scheduled business meeting or a money meeting that evening, right?
No, I knew he said he did. I didn't know if he had one. Addicts lie all the time.
Oh,
So you didn't
There you
trust
go.
him?
wow.
I took it with a big grain of addict salt.
are you addicted to alcohol?
Mr.
Ms.
Depp
Heard?
texted you that evening to let you
Would've
know
been my
he'd be late,
follow-up.
correct?
Yes, he did text me at some point.
It was a big deal to you that Mr. Depp was late to your birthday dinner, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did matter to me.
And you were upset he was late.
I was hurt.
And when he finally did arrive, you felt, quote, invisible to him, right?
I did.
The day after your birthday dinner, you and your friends went to Coachella to celebrate your birthday. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You made a video driving to Coachella with your friends, didn't you?
That is correct.
I'd like to pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1264. And for the record, Your Honor, this only has music without any words on it.
And again, it's a new one, so I'd like a copy of it.
It's
Like to
going
see
to be played. There is no sound other than a
May we
song.
approach? Yes, sir.
Why? Oh my gosh, Elaine.
Although, I think Camille should have been more prepared for that page 64 thing.
Yeah.
Just then. That doesn't look great. She should have been ready with the follow-up questions. So you had this story in the pocket and you decided when it would be most effective when we came down to trial time, right?
Yeah. I mean, she could have done that. Yeah. There's just no reason for her not to handle that better, because the whole point of her argument really is you're just making this up after the fact. You didn't talk about it in the context of that night, and that's still true.
Yes.
But because she didn't frame it that way, she's allowing Amber to suggest that, well, I actually talked about it all along.
Yeah. Ready to mute the song? Nope. I'm going through it. I'll contest whatever copyright claims come my way.
I won't.
Oh, they'll come. They will come.
I'm undefeated on copyright contesting.
I won't. I'm gonna actually have to mute that one, chat, to y'all.
Any objection?
No, You're on.
All right,
Okay. If we could please publish this to the jury.
Evidence.
With
My
a
my
sound.
finger is on the mute button.
Still waiting for some right second. Oh wait, that was the Windows sound. I thought there was a...
All right. Oh, I didn't end up muting. We're gonna let this one play because we're gonna talk right over it. So, okay, that was a quick
There you
little
go.
thing. We're
This
not
is
gonna
a
get
video you made
copyright
when
on
you
that
drove
one.
to
That's getting
Coachella with your
claimed.
friends after your
Yeah,
30th
it might.
birthday
It
night.
was short enough.
That's correct.
100%.
Not sure which one of us
We were
made the
talking
video,
over it.
but That's correct.
You're featured in that video driving,
That's correct.
and it's set to the song "Miss You" by the Rolling Stones. Is that right?
That's correct.
That was a message for Mr. Depp, wasn't it?
No, that's ridiculous.
How is that
You consumed
ridiculous?
drugs at Coachella, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You took MDMA and mushrooms at the same time,
I did. Yes.
and it made you feel sick, right?
I felt horrible. Yes.
Well, it's
you
what
left
happens when
Coachella.
you take
Yes, that's
Molly
correct.
and
You
mushrooms.
testified yesterday that when you left Coachella, you left with, quote, your entire group.
That is correct.
And you were, quote, never alone with Starling, right?
That is correct.
You weren't anywhere near him.
Not alone. No.
You sat here when Starling Jenkins testified that he collected you from Coachella when you were sick, right?
He picked up my entire group.
And Mr. Jenkins testified, quote, I collected her, got her in the vehicle. She didn't want anyone else to know that she was sick. Take her back to the Parker, which I assume was in reference to the hotel, alone. I took her to the 7-Eleven where I retrieved hydrating fluids, Advil, and let her have those. Got her back up to the Parker, got her in the suite, and then went back to pick up everyone else. You were
He
there
lied.
when Mr. Jenkins testified, right?
Yes, he was wrong.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Jenkins is lying.
He's just wrong. I don't know what his intentions are. He was just wrong about that.
That's
We
not
were
a
big group of
mistake.
us.
That-
I wasn't alone with him.
Isn't it possible that you don't remember correctly because you were sick from taking MDMA and mushrooms at the
No.
same time?
I
Which
remember
is
everything.
precisely
about
the
that night.
accusation she keeps
Wow.
making against Johnny, right? He doesn't
Yeah.
remember
Like the
because
plaintiff's exhibit 1, 2,
Because of
3,
MDMA.
in evidence at 1720 through 2128.
Again, get her to say this about every witness. Get every witness to be wrong. Have her say.
Here comes legal mindset. He's writing on the whiteboard.
and
He's writing
throw
on the
also
whiteboard.
in there. So this witness
Hold on.
is also
There's audio playing.
Nobody's telling me.
No, you told me.
We're on the road.
You told me what you wanted. You wanted to and that's what I came to figure
You're
out.
not going to call your lawyers and say, stop the process. I don't want to do this. You're not going to do that.
No, not if, especially if you
Okay, I don't want to divorce.
We don't? How, which one? No, I don't, which one?
I don't want a divorce. I never wanted a fucking divorce. I never wanted a divorce. I didn't want you to fucking go to Coachella without fucking talking to me. Because I left you because you were fucking, you fucking haymakered me, man. You came around the bed and fucking start punching on me. Why? I love you.
That's what really happened the evening of your 30th birthday, isn't it, Miss Heard?
No.
No,
Miss-
that's incorrect.
Mr. Depp was in bed, and then you came around the bed and started punching him.
That's incorrect.
You don't deny that in the recording, do you, Miss Heard?
I'm not having that conversation with Johnny. I'm not denying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm not having that conversation with Johnny. I was trying to get out of that hotel room. That was a mediation attempt. That was the recording you just heard. It was us meeting in a hotel.
But you're talking about your 30th
So
birthday.
you're talking to
we're
him
not.
and you're not conversing.
You're not
with him.
talking about going to Coachella and
Johnny's talking about that. I am not arguing with him about any of that.
right. You don't deny anything, do you?
I'm not talking to him about that.
Going to publish exhibit or ask that the witness be shown exhibit 1265.
Yeah, and I was going to say, if the theme is all the other witnesses are supposedly lying, you have to keep asking that. So this witness is also lying. This witness is also wrong.
This is you and your friends at Coachella, correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to move to admit plaintiff's 1265 and publish it.
No objection. All right, 1265 in evidence.
Let's see these hoes. Yep.
No injuries to you, are there, Miss Heard, visible in this picture?
You cannot see any visible injury, no.
Just side boob.
Just another one of those. It's not visible to you.
Yeah, for real.
Well,
There's a lot of
They
not
snap a picture
visible
of Johnny's
to you.
wallet with a big
in this.
bloody stake through it.
Sir, do you remember during Mr. Depp's examination, a number of recordings were played, correct?
That's correct.
And in one of those recordings, you told Mr. Depp, quote, "I hope to God Jack's stepfather teaches him more about being a man than your fucking left nut," end quote. Do you remember that?
I do not remember what exactly I could hear of that recording. I remember I heard myself make a mention of Jack's new stepfather or potential stepfather. I can't recall.
Jack is Mr. Depp's son, right?
That is correct. And I believe I was referencing a marriage that his ex-partner was going to have or getting into, I suppose.
You were referencing that Jack's new stepfather would teach him how to be a man because Mr. Depp couldn't.
I
right?
don't recall exactly what I said, but it was something to that effect.
Let's listen to some of what happened before you said that to Mr. Depp. If we could please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 397, which is already in evidence.
Don't you
And
understand
for the
she
record, it's
has
at
the receipts of what she's
3504
asking
through
you?
3547. And then the next clip is 3635 through 4308.
Fucking suck your own dick.
Everything's fine until it doesn't go your way. And when it doesn't go
Suck
your way,
your own
I'm in trouble. And you know what?
Suck.
I don't need you. I don't want your kind of woman. I don't want your kind of woman.
Suck
I don't want your kind of woman.
Suck my dick.
I
Say.
might have. Suck my dick with you.
Big mistake. I wish I had fucking hadn't.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I fucking hadn't. I wish I fucking hadn't bought into any of your fucking lies, your bullshit, your sober fucking presence, your fucking goodness, your sweetness, all the lies. I wish I hadn't bought into the months of you being you. I wish I hadn't bought into promises. I wish I hadn't fucking thought I could have kids with you. You're a fucking kid yourself. I wish I hadn't bought into any of the lies you sold. Talk about fake bill of goods. You're the biggest fucking, you're the biggest fucking seller of fake fucking bill of goods. Talk about presenting yourself as
I
something
did
you're
myself
not.
the fake
Suck my
seller
dick.
of goods.
Suck my
I
dick.
fucking you've left nothing and I've left everything. So suck your dick.
Yeah, go on.
Which is probably your next move.
Suck.
No, I don't want to suck your dick. I don't want nothing to do with your
Oh,
fucking
because I really
midsection.
need something.
Well, go get it, man.
Because I need something. Go on.
Huh?
Fucking fuck yourself.
I
No shit, I won't. Suck your dick.
don't want to.
It's gonna be on you, yeah.
No, it's not really true, Amber.
Actually, it kind of is.
It kind of is. What are you talking about? You're doing some
No,
research? Oh, is it? What is it?
no, I'm sure Rochelle's available. Call her up. I'm sure she's available.
Maybe she is. But
I'm sure she is.
we'll see.
I'm sure she is.
I'll let you know.
Oh, I'm sure she is. I'm sure for her yoga blog.
That fake laugh. That fake
Oh,
laugh is too much to take.
No, I'm sure she's.
That fake laugh is so disgusting.
I'm
man.
sure she's great. I'm sure she's great.
I'm thinking that you can give me some
No.
of the best performances in all
No,
the
no,
fucking
you're
track.
right. I don't. It's all about
Well, performances.
performance.
How fucked
No,
up is
I'm
she?
right. I don't regret. I don't regret.
Oh, what else?
I
What
don't
else that you do? Oh, come on.
I don't
Be
regret.
good.
No, I
Come
don't
on.
regret.
Lay it on me. What else? What else other things do you want to add?
Can't talk
You
to you
fucking
anytime.
lying piece of
Positive.
shit. What? Oh,
Such a
no, I
shit show.
want to know. I want to
Get out of your Ubers
I'm
out.
kind of waiting. You go get it.
Yeah, I'll be in the
Wait, is there no other place for you to run in your 15 other houses to go run? Come on, go be a real married man. Go deal with your shit the way that a man does. Go run to the next house. Every man does.
Yeah.
Go.
Go
Run
on.
away. I know it's
With
hard to
your
look at yourself.
fucking ridiculous
I
plan.
know. hard.
panicked fucking clown.
It's hard. It's hard.
Screwing everybody else
Poor
over
thing.
to get
You're
your
right.
fucking.
I tried.
It was
That's what I do.
You're the most spoiled fucking brat. And you got everybody out here almost full, but it don't last
You're
long.
right.
I've
I'm
been
sorry.
hanging out longer
You're
than
right. You got to
because
figure it out.
You don't have figure out what you have to offer as opposed to going out and get your tits out.
You're right. That's right.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
London feels is
You're right. You're right.
excellent choice.
Back to that. Well, I wonder what we else. I wonder what else we can reach for in the last 6 years. Oh no, it was 4 years ago. You're right. I'm sure there's other things you can.
Go loud.
No, I'm not laughing.
Or no, matter of fact,
I'm
laugh
not
here.
laughing. I'm not. It's
Oh.
serious. I'm sure you can find other things.
Yeah, that's right.
I know.
That's right, legal.
Thing-
It's like watching some weird movie where there's
Right,
a
you can
demon.
write a book.
Right? The
You
demon's
can write a
talking to the
book.
protagonist.
I know you can write a book. Oh, is this gonna be good for your book? Oh, should I have you sign an NDA for your book?
You don't need
Your
that.
book.
No,
Is this
no.
gonna be good for your book?
Actually, that should be her
Is this gonna
typecast
be good for
role
your
in
book?
Hollywood. Just play the female demon in all those
Oh.
weird
Yep.
B movies.
Poltergeist.
Have you somewhere of your journals? You don't want to sell out or anything. Let's sell you journals. Oh, wait.
Hey.
Hey, no,
Yeah,
you're
you
not
don't
watching.
wanna sell out.
No,
Her
you're
first
not
role is
selling out.
the twins.
No,
Like,
no.
you don't wanna
Yeah,
sell
because
out.
no one does
No.
21 Drug Street when they're in their 20s. No, you're right. That's not selling out. No. When you're in your 20s, you should really know what you want. Like
By the
selling
way-
your journals.
By the way, if you didn't know who the fuck I
You're
was.
right. Go sell your journals like a real non-seller. Or, I'm sorry, cookies.
Shit.
Crazy.
51. I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point. I don't think so.
There we go.
I don't really think so. But you're right. I mean, hey, at least I didn't do like a TV show where I was heartthrob in my 20s. God, that would be like embarrassing. If only I was with someone in their 50s that could point that out to me. Imagine mine. You're right. When you play a non-sexualized object. Okay.
Psychotic.
You're right. You got me. You got it all figured out.
I don't even know what movies I've done.
If only
You haven't even taken an interest.
If only I could be
You know,
like
but I had to
you. If
watch
only
your
I
fucking-
could be like
I had to watch your fucking direct and you trying to like
You're a joke.
spew out
You're
these
a
fucking
joke.
lines.
You're a joke. You're a joke.
Yeah, I'm the joke in the industry, Amber. I'm the joke. I'm the joke in the
I'm
industry.
sorry. I can't really hear you. I'm sorry. The reruns of all my bullshit are playing too loud for me to hear you. I'm gonna just go and pedal my way back. Sorry. I can't hear you.
Aquaman.
Oh, 21, whatever it was.
I was
don't remember anymore.
I was 20.
No one cares.
Washed up piece of
Oh,
shit.
what?
Washed up piece of shit.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Oh,
Your jealousy's so tragic.
I'm sorry.
Your jealousy's so tragic. Fucking like
I can't hear you.
thinking that I'm going on a road with a
Turn on
band.
my aid. I can't hear you.
You told Mr. Depp to suck your dick multiple times, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You tell him to go run to his 15 other houses, right?
That's correct.
Because that's what he would do when you behave like this, isn't it?
Eventually, he would go and stay in one of the other houses.
Because you wanted to get away
You call
from
him a
your
sellout,
psycho ass.
don't you?
I was expressing frustration about his criticism of my career and how many problems that caused within the dynamic of our relationship. Yes.
So you call him a
What
sellout and a
career?
joke?
I called him horrible, ugly things, as you can hear. And
Sellout.
We spoke to each other in a really horrible way.
So horrible.
Pretty sure we just heard you speak to him in a really horrible way. You called him a sellout,
I just
right, Miss
disagree.
Heard? You called him a sellout, right, Miss Heard?
I called him a lot of ugly things.
And a joke.
I called him a lot of ugly things.
You called him a joke on that recording.
Pin her down.
You called him a washed up piece of shit.
I think we both called each other that on that occasion. Yes.
Mr. Depp mentions Aquaman, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Mr. Depp got you that role in Aquaman, didn't he?
Excuse me?
Mr. Depp got you that role in Aquaman, didn't he?
No, Miss Vasquez, I got myself that role by auditioning.
Sure you did.
Uh-huh.
That's how
Mr.
that
Depp
works.
says, quote, your jealousy is so tragic.
I heard him say that, yes.
You were the jealous one in this relationship, weren't you, Miss Heard?
I think he was indicating I was jealous of his career.
But now you've twisted it to say it was Mr. Depp that's the jealous one.
Johnny's always been very jealous when I worked, when I did anything, friends. Yes,
Call her a
he's always
victim.
been very jealous.
What?
Mr. Heard, I'm going to ask you to take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 120E.
Call her a victim. Piss her off.
She will go
A
crazy.
series of text messages between you and Mr.
I'm
Depp.
hoping that's the last thing she does right before she ends
That is
it.
correct.
Is call her a victim of multiple times and make her fucking lose it.
I'm going to move to admit and publish these text messages. Mr. Depp's messages have been redacted.
All right, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 120E in evidence, you can publish.
Oh, now she knows how to use a microphone.
Starts with a text message from you to Mr. Depp on September 26, 2015, right?
That is correct.
And you write, monster is back. This is him. Did I read that right?
That is correct.
And then in the next message, you write, quote, ran away, first sign of trouble. This is not the man you promised you would be. Did I read that correctly?
That is correct.
Then in the next one down, you write, promised, swore to me you would be.
That is
Right.
correct. The non-monster.
Ms. Heard, you're talking about Mr. Depp running away from you at the first sign of trouble, aren't you?
No, I'm recognizing the clues at this point when he would
The
run away at
clues.
the first sign of trouble. Often that was a clue for me to know that he was back using again and that we were about to enter the next phase of the cycle.
And you
Well, the fact
described
you
his
just
running
didn't
away
want to
from
be
you
around
as
your
the monster,
psycho ass when you
right?
got like this.
That wasn't what was a monster. The monster is the man who beat me up. The running away was just attached to that. It was a sign, a signal to me.
So
as
he
a
ran
clue
away or did he
So
beat
he'd
you?
run
as
away or
somebody
he
trying
beats
to
you up.
Put together clues that we were entering into that phase.
In these messages, Ms. Heard.
Exactly.
Monster isn't Mr. Depp doing drugs, is it?
It was always the man who did drugs and beat me up. Yes,
no,
that's always been
you
monster.
said before it was only the
That's
man
not
who
what you're
did
saying
who
in these
drank.
messages.
That is exactly what I'm saying in the messages.
You don't
was the
describe
monster.
Mr. Depp being violent, do you?
I do not describe that in this text message. No.
So it's a cowardly monster this time.
No.
And going down the page, you write a long series of text. Come grown, face the shit, and we can do anything. You go on a little later to say, please come home.
job,
Let's
legal mindset.
apologize to each together. And continuing on page 77, you write, not go to bed mad. And then you say, sound okay? Sound like the priority in the long run? Come home. Don't be the monster. Be the man. Please. Please call me. Please. Continuing on page 78. You write, I don't want the monster. I need my man. I need to talk to you. Please, Johnny. Don't force me to be something else to you. Taking me for granted, and I can never stop. Before this turns into something far darker.
I can never stop.
She's the dark one.
That text message, right?
The exact opposite. I'm trying to interrupt him starting a new cycle where he starts using again. I'm
He's not
trying
responding to
desperately
you, Ms. Heard.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to desperately stop him.
Please answer the phone, you say. Doesn't this mean anything to you? And it goes on. And I won't read all these
look at
messages.
the
Don't read 'em all.
timestamps.
Please answer.
This is right
over
after
and
another.
over again.
This is like
Right?
It was very important to me. I
very
was running out of
controlling,
time and I was trying
very
desperately to stop him.
jealous, very
He wasn't with you, Ms. Heard.
psychotic
Exactly,
behavior.
which is how I knew it was about to get a lot worse. He would leave, use, and come back way worse, with way less reality, with more delusions. He'd be more drunk. He'd
I'm
be
going to
more
move to
under the
strike everything
influence.
after
I was trying to stop
the
that.
answer to her question.
Your Honor, she was responding.
I'll overrule the objection, that's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is a situation where you were trying to get Mr. Depp to pay attention to you. Isn't that right?
No, I was trying to stop him from using.
And because he ran away from you at the first sign of trouble, you call him a monster.
I was
right?
trying to stop him from turning into the monster. The drugs are the key that opened the door.
Who was the real
I
monster
thought it was the
in this
alcohol.
relationship, Ms. Hurd?
Lives in Johnny, half of Johnny. It's not all of Johnny. The other half of him is wonderful and beautiful and the man I love.
I'd like you to take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 1.
Amber is the monster.
The way she should ask that question is, who's the real monster in this relationship? Pause. Miss Hurd.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
There's another set of text messages between you and Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 120F in evidence. You can publish.
This is a set of text messages, and it's from October 2015. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
In fact, you sent all of these messages to Mr. Depp on October 22nd, 2015. Isn't that right?
Exactly. Same thing was happening here.
And again, I'm not going to read them all, but you
Read
start
'em.
off again by trying to get Mr. Depp's attention, right? You write, please come home.
I was trying to stop another bender.
You write, please come home, right?
That is correct.
Please answer. Don't break us up. Please answer. Please. And continuing on page 97, you write, give me some piece of your heart. Please, no fight, I promise. Please, no fights. Please, just pick up. Please give me 2 minutes. I'm dying. Please. And continuing on page 98, you write, please come home. Please come home, Baba. I am so sorry. Actually, you didn't say Baba, you said baby. Apologies. And it goes on.
Ooh, I am not
Did I read
perfect.
those
Help me
correctly?
learn.
That is correct. That was another time I'm trying to stop another twist off.
You don't mention that, do
This
you?
is what would happen when Mr. Depp would try to take some space from you, right?
No, this is what would happen when Johnny had moved into the next phase of the cycle, decided to use,
No,
and our
Ms.
lives
Hurd.
were getting a lot worse at that
Ms.
point.
No,
Hurd, I'm
he's
talking
not
about
answering
your
you.
actions. This is what you would do to Mr. Depp when he would leave you. You would harangue him.
I would
Isn't
try
that
to.
correct? You
I
would
would try-
harangue him.
Your Honor, at least let her answer the question. Interrupt you.
That's fine. Go ahead and answer the question.
I do not think I would characterize my behavior that way. I was trying to stop him from using.
You were texting him incessantly. Isn't that correct, Ms. Hurd?
It was imperative for my life.
Ms.
It was
Hurd,
very
my
important.
question is
to me.
much more simple. You were texting him incessantly.
I would
Yes
try
or no?
everything to
Ms.
get a hold
Hurd?
of him and
So
to
that's a
stop the
yes.
cycle.
That's a yes, right?
I would try everything to stop the cycle. It was that important to me.
And he's the monster for not responding to you,
That's not what made him the monster.
for
No.
needing space from you.
The monster was not the guy who needed space. The
Not
monster
for
was who
doing
he
drugs.
was when he came back.
Not for doing drugs, Ms. Hurd. Not for being violent.
She's looking really
just for
bad to the
needing
jury
space.
right now.
That's when you called Mr. Depp the monster.
Incorrect.
No, that's
Let's
correct.
listen to Defendant's
Mhm.
Exhibit 598C, which is already in evidence.
You don't mention him at all in these texts. Using, hitting, fighting you. Only
Let's not do
fights
this
come from
anymore,
you.
because I'm really getting frustrated, and I'm really
Oh, Camille's look right there was good.
argument.
Stop. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let me go, and you go, and I'll speak to you in a couple hours. Okay? Okay?
Stop. Okay.
Why are you saying stop?
Because
May
you feel
I
so-
go?
Please, it causes me so much stress when you leave, when you walk away from me with that. It's like you don't understand how much worse you're making this.
I can't believe this.
Please, you're making it worse for me.
Okay, I'm sorry for you.
Please, I'm only trying to tell you so that you know you're causing me immense stress right now when you walk away
Codependent
like
like
that.
shit.
There's no reason to be mad.
Well, then say goodbye. I haven't walked away. You're not saying goodbye. You won't let me fucking leave.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
Oh my
leave.
God.
Controlling.
Stop rushing me! Stop pushing me in the corner and then poking me with a stick and then saying, why are you saying the words you want me to say? Stop poking me! Stop rushing me! Stop throwing me against the wall! I'm going, what? You don't like that wall? You don't like the fucking wall? Stop pushing me!
This is in her head. The violence is in her
I'm
head.
rushing you. I said, I need space. I don't want this conversation anymore right now. I need space. And I will take my space, whether you like it or not. I will take it. And you will take your space. But if you keep
I'm not doing
halting
I'm not doing anything.
this and continuing
I'm
with
not
the rhetoric.
continuing it. I'm begging you to stop.
I don't. Okay, stop.
I'm
stopped. Stop. Now I have to go. Okay? So we will speak to each other in a couple of hours. Okay? I hope you have some kind
Not
of
okay.
revelation makes you feel better. You know, I hope I do too.
He's
But,
just
we'll just
trying
see
to
when I
get some
home. We'll
space
talk
and get
or
away
we
from the
won't talk, or,
situation,
you
and
know,
she's the one freaking out.
finish this or we won't finish it.
This does not look good for her at all.
But this is not love. This is not happiness. This is not. This is.
Please stop doing this. Please, you're causing me so much fucking stress. I'm gonna die at this age. I'm gonna fucking die. You're causing me so much stress. Please stop. Please, I feel like I have heart attacks almost every day. Please stop. Please
what are you
stop
doing?
doing it. Please stop. He's so fucking mean.
Why
You're
are
a
you
fucking
with me?
bully. Stop. Please stop. I've been begging you not to fight. I just said, can we please have a normal argument? Just even a normal conversation, fucking normal argument. And for the last hour, I've been begging you to please just leave it at that. Let's just go on with our night. I would have been able to come in with you. We would have been able to let it go in a few minutes. It would have been fine. It would just, if we allowed ourselves to have fucking normal arguments. Please,
wants to
you're
fight.
killing me with this. You're killing me. You're fucking killing me. Fuck.
Yep.
Sean, could you, please? I want you to just go. I want you to take your medicine or whatever. I'm sorry that I've upset you.
Yeah,
this
I think.
much.
Thank you, Sean. I'm ready to go. Thank you so much.
I'm really sorry.
I'm really ready. Thank
This bitch is
You,
psychotic.
Mr.
That's hard to
Depp,
listen to.
recording, correct, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
That
You
is
just won't let him go, will you?
That's not true. We were outside of his studio and he wanted to go and use. It was a pretext. The claim that he was upset
That
with
is
me was a
not-
pretext so that he would go on a bender. I knew that
All
pattern
his
by the
drugs.
time this recording happened.
he wanted to get
4-hour
away
bender.
from
But
you.
she never mentioned it.
That was not brought
Your
up
testimony now
drugs,
that
whatsoever.
you were outside Mr. Depp's studio,
I believe that
and he
that
was going to go
recording was.
use.
Excuse me?
He was going to go use drugs. That's your testimony now.
We were outside his studio, his man cave house, if you will, in the car.
Man
I
cave.
believe during that recording.
And he was going to go inside and use.
That was the pattern. And as you can hear from my voice, I'm very, very, very scared of entering into the next cycle under
Not
what I
even
had been conditioned to
remotely
understand we were
close.
at
I should never
that
mention
point in
it.
our relationship.
That's not true, is it, Ms. Heard? Mr. Depp was trying to go inside his house to see his daughter, Lily Rose.
She might have been over that day, but
Oh,
that's
it's
not
your
what he was
testimony
getting out of
now?
the car to do, and that's not what I was stopping him from doing.
Let's play the beginning part of that recording where Mr. Depp tells you that he wants to go inside to see his daughter.
Well, he was lying.
And let's not do this anymore because I'm really getting frustrated, and I'm really, really, really sick of this argument.
Stop. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let me go, and you go, and I'll speak to you in a couple hours. Okay? Okay?
Stop. Okay.
Why are you saying stop?
Because
May
you're being
I
so-
go?
Wrong clip.
Wrong clip. But still, even that.
We'll circle back to this, but it's your testimony that you were outside Mr. Depp's studio.
We were in the car.
You were in the car outside of Mr. Depp's studio,
That's correct.
and he wasn't telling you, please let me go inside my house to see my daughter. He was indicating to you that he wanted to go inside to do drugs. That's your testimony.
I know my testimony is that I knew what he was going inside to go do. I knew what
you
stage
knew.
of the cycle we were in. I knew the patterns by then, and I was desperately out of time trying to interrupt that cycle.
Just like a witch. She can see everything.
Go to May of 2016.
That
No.
looked kind of bad, though.
Yesterday, Ms. Heard, Ms. Bredehoff, your attorney, showed you certain pictures from May 21, 2016. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 710, which has already been admitted into evidence.
I mean, you had the gotcha on the recording.
Ms. Heard,
that
you testified
claims-
yesterday that this is a photograph taken of you on May 21st, 2016. Do you recall?
Yes, that's correct.
And keeping this exhibit up,
You were
could
thinner
please
then,
do a
weren't
split
you?
screen, Tom, and also pull up Defendant's Exhibit 714, which has already been admitted with redactions. Ms. Heard, you testified yesterday that this is the photograph that was also taken on May 21st, 2016, correct?
Yes, although the one to the right might have been taken the next day. I can't be sure. The reason I say that is because there's light in the background. So it looks like it was taken in the daytime, which means maybe it was the next day.
Didn't you testify that you took different pictures in different lightings on May 21?
That is correct, yes.
And you're wearing two thin necklaces in this picture on the right. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You testified that these pictures were taken the same night.
The one on the right looks like it was taken in the daytime because I can see the daylight behind me.
But you testified that they were taken the same day.
I don't know if I think I testified that they came from the same incident of the same day, not necessarily taken on the same day.
Let's please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 712, which has already been admitted. You testified yesterday, this is another photograph of you on the night of May 21.
That's correct.
And keeping this exhibit up, can we please do a split screen and also pull up Defendant 713, which has already been admitted? Ms. Heard, you testified yesterday, this is also a photograph of you from the same night, correct?
That is correct.
You testified yesterday that the only difference between these two photographs is that the light was turned on.
That's what it appears to be, yes.
The light is on both of these pictures, though. Isn't that right?
It looks to me like the one on the left has the vanity light, the makeup lights, you know, the more yellow hued ones that go around the mirror on. And then the one on the right looks like it doesn't have those.
Isn't it true you just edited these photographs?
No, I've never edited a photograph.
Didn't you just enhance
Never.
the saturation for one
What?
of the photos to make your face look
That's bullshit.
more red?
No, that's incorrect. I didn't touch it.
You were sitting here in this courtroom when Mr. Isaac Baruch testified to seeing you the week after May 21, 2016, correct?
I was here.
Mr. Baruch testified that he saw you on May 22nd while you were changing the locks of your penthouse. Do you recall that testimony?
I do. I just don't know if he was right about the date, but I do remember him saying that.
He's lying, of
Testified it was
course.
His birthday, the day after his birthday.
I believe it was.
So he would
Mr.
know
Baruch
the date.
testified that he saw you repeatedly in the days following also, correct?
That's correct.
And Mr. Baruch testified that he saw no marks or injuries on your face, correct?
That is what he's testified to.
You were also here in this court when Mr. Sean Bett testified to seeing you on the evening of May 21, 2016. Is that right? You were here.
That's correct.
Mr. Bett also testified that he saw no marks or injuries on your face that evening, correct?
I realize that's what he said.
You were sitting here in this courtroom when Officer Melissa Sines testified by deposition about being called to the Eastern Columbia building on May 21st, 2016, right?
I saw her testimony, yes.
And you heard Officer Sines testify that she did not see any injuries on you that night, correct?
I heard her testify she did not consider this injured.
No.
No.
Miss Officer Sines
I
testified
heard that one.
that she met with you and she did not see any injuries on your face. Isn't that correct?
She did not consider this injury.
Ms.
That's not
Hurd,
what she
my
said.
question is a bit more nuanced.
So is my answer.
All right.
She's talking about two different times. Amber is right about what she's saying, but she's wrong about the question that was asked. That's the question of the picture that was shown to the officer at deposition. She didn't consider it an injury. What she said when she saw Amber was that she saw no sign of injury. So Camille is correct. Amber is utilizing a statement made at a separate time in the deposition.
Once again, Amber thinking she's smart by doing things like that, by taking things out of context, by confusing things, by muddling the evidence. It's not engendering authenticity.
We hope. You hope the
No.
jury isn't buying it. I don't think they are, but
I don't think they are either. I mean, and that's from what the folks that were inside yesterday were saying. I don't think these type of responses are getting where she thinks they're getting.
right. Let's see. So DUI guy about an hour ago said Amber Heard stated Johnny Depp tried to kill her, but he's also my husband. Juror number 5, extremely skeptical, raised eyebrows for the first time in 2 days of testimony. An hour in, jurors 4, 5, 8, and 9 barely look at Amber Heard when she talks, locked on Vasquez.
That's good for Johnny.
Yep.
Yeah, you definitely do not want the attention on the attorney as the witness.
No.
That's outside of the good vibes. Here for Lol says I
Can we
figured
put
it out.
these down, please. I think they might be confusing the witness. My
Here
question
for-
is more nuanced.
Okay.
You sat in this courtroom while Officer Sines testified that she saw you the night of May 21, 2016, face to face, and didn't see any injuries on your face. Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
I believe she was testifying about these photographs, and she said
That
that
was
I was
later.
not injured in them.
It was later in the deposition.
Is it your testimony under oath now that Officer Sines testified that she saw injuries on you when she saw you in person on May 21?
Sorry, let me clarify. I was testifying that I know that that's what Officer Sines said, that she didn't consider my red puffy face injured. That's what she said.
No,
Never
that
said
was the
anything about red
photos.
puffy face.
Face. That was your counsel's question, correct?
That was
She
her
said-
testimony in the UK.
That's unadmissible.
And you know that, Ms. Heard.
I disagree.
It's just inconvenient for you that Officer Sines didn't see injuries on you on May 21, 2016.
It
Isn't
doesn't
that
matter
right?
what's convenient for me.
Right. Officer Tyler Haddon also testified by deposition about being called to the Eastern Columbia building on May 21, 2016. And he also testified no injuries on your face on May 21, 2016. Isn't that correct?
They both said that they did not consider me injured.
They did not see injuries on your face on May 21, 2016.
Pull the fucking
Isn't
tape.
that what their testimony was?
What their testimony was is that they did not consider what
Nail her
my
with
face
the
looked like
tape.
the injury. They didn't consider what they walked on in the
Pull the
house damage that
transcript.
it was.
You were sitting here when Officer William Gatlin testified by deposition.
They're gonna
about
pull it
being
up.
called on
She's getting it for
May
everybody, and then
21 to
she's
the
gonna
Eastern Columbia
yank it out
building,
from
and
under her.
He also did not observe any injuries on you, did he?
He
And that's what
didn't-
he testified to.
He didn't even know which one I was.
No, I think we all saw on video camera you identify yourself. Isn't that correct?
I had to because of how far away he was. He didn't even know who he was
But
there
after
to
you
see.
identified yourself, he looked at you. Isn't that correct?
From a distance, yes.
And he didn't see any visible injuries either, did he?
I don't know what he saw.
He testified that he didn't see any visible injuries, did
I
he?
would believe that he didn't, yes.
We were also in the courtroom when Alejandro Romero, who worked at the front desk at the Eastern Columbia building, testified about seeing you on May 25th, 2016. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. I think he said the 25th.
Yeah. And Mr. Romero testified
Yeah.
that he didn't see any swelling or bruises on your face when you were talking to him at the front desk.
He wouldn't have.
No, he wouldn't have, even though he had a habit, because his parents taught him correctly, to look into someone's eyes when speaking to them. Isn't that correct?
I know that's what he testified to, yes.
You testified
wouldn't have 'cause I was
yesterday that
wearing
you
makeup
sought a
is the
temporary
implication.
restraining order on May 27th, 2016, because you wanted to change your locks. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, I do.
Those locks were to the penthouses at the Eastern Columbia building. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
You changed the locks to the penthouses on May 22nd, 2016.
I attempted to.
That's why you felt comfortable having James Franco over the evening of May 22nd, 2016, Ms. Heard?
I do not know when James came over.
Okay, let's remind you. Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 304, which is already in evidence, and play
Her and
from
James making out in the
254
elevator.
through 439?
Johnny's smiling.
He knows what's coming.
Oh, I wanted the dramatic hand in the elevator door, stopping it, him
Yeah, that would've
rushing
been
in,
cool.
pinning her against the wall of the elevator. Big makeout session from her and Franco.
And aroused James Franco.
Women in the
Only
area
in
vacate
theaters.
immediately.
I guess he went down to collect her. Is that what it is? Collect
She went
him.
down to collect him.
You
I
got him,
guess.
right?
They smashed in Johnny's place?
Well, and they're all Johnny's places. Amber doesn't
Right.
really own anything.
Own anything because she's worthless. Yes, I got it.
Don't go back They're really tight with their evidence callouts yesterday. Today they have not been. Here we go.
Yeah, because this isn't sneaky that they know there's a camera there. So they kind of back in, have their faces down, and not
little nuzzle.
And not showing their faces.
Here it's coming.
James Franco should just tweet, "Yeah, I did it."
That's you and Mr. Franco on May 22nd, 2016, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And you're taking him up to the penthouses, aren't you?
That's where I lived, yes.
And it's past 11 p.m. at night. Isn't that right?
I'm not quite sure of the time it looked like that.
Why don't we pull that video back up?
We got a timestamp on the video.
Yeah,
Good
for
morning.
real.
$22:51. Almost midnight, right?
That's
Or excuse me, almost 11 o'clock at night.
Exactly.
You knew Mr. Depp was out of town the week of May 21, 2016, didn't you?
I don't know what I knew of his schedule at the time.
How
You
do you
knew Mr.
not
Depp was
know
out
your
of town
husband's
on May
schedule?
27th when you went to get the domestic violence restraining order. Isn't that right?
I don't know if I knew that at the time.
Oh, really?
You knew Mr. Depp was heading out on a European tour that week. Isn't that right?
I'm not quite sure what I understood of his schedule at that time.
You knew he wouldn't be back for weeks, right?
No, that's incorrect.
Let's go back to that recording.
Mm-hmm.
It's Defendant's Exhibit 598. So you testified that you and Mr. Depp were in the car outside of his studio. Is that right?
Yes.
And you were trying to prevent him from going into his studio to do drugs, right?
Yeah, and to effectively
finally
start
find
another
the-
cycle.
Right spot on the tape.
Not that Mr. Depp was just trying to go into his house to see his daughter, right?
His daughter might be one of the people that was in the house at that time, but that's neither here nor there. That
Your
wouldn't
testimony is now,
prevented him
Mr.
from entering a cycle.
Your testimony is now that Mr. Depp does drugs in front of his children.
Well, first of all, I know he does. Second of all, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have stopped him from using with his friends, which is the problem, not whether or not his daughter was there.
Let's play, please, Defendants 598 at 49:48 through 50:35. 50:35.
I'm itching. I don't want to be doing this. I want it just to. Why don't you just say, okay, baby, I understand. I'll go home and you do your thing, hang out with your daughter, and then I'll see you in a couple hours and we'll talk about it. Is
There
it
it
that
is.
difficult to say?
There
that?
it is.
Or you just fucking hate me and you want to be shitty about it? Please. Just fucking, it's not that difficult,
It's not what she wants.
okay? I don't want to stand here in a driveway and argue with you. Okay, well, I'll see you in a little bit, okay? Please? Please. Just let me know if you're going to go somewhere. Just let me know, please, so I know.
So he was the one trying to actually be like,
"Oh, if you're going to go somewhere, let me know," indicating.
And almost an hour later, you're still arguing with Mr. Depp outside, right?
How long that
An
argument
hour of
lasted,
that.
no.
Dear Lord.
That's
wow.
like amateur hour. That's like Tuesday.
Mr. You
for Amber.
testified about seeking a domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp, correct?
Yes, I have.
And how you wanted to do it discreetly?
That's correct.
That you wanted as much privacy as you could have?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, we're
Kind
getting
of
to the
walked out to a
leak.
sea of paparazzi and cameras and photographers, right?
That is correct.
There's
And
a
how this
private exit
overwhelmed you?
underground.
It was
at that
overwhelming,
courthouse.
yes.
Because you didn't want this attention on you?
That is correct.
We could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 800, which has already been admitted into evidence.
Yep. We're going to get to how I'm hoping we're getting to how she leaked that video.
This is a photograph of you taken inside the courthouse when you obtained the DVRO, correct?
That's correct.
And your friend Raquel Pennington took this photograph?
Yes, that's correct.
Because you needed to document your time at the courthouse getting a DVRO?
She just took a picture of me. I'm assuming it was
just a normal
in
candid
relation to my
shot.
divorce. Yeah.
Please pull up defendant's exhibit 801, which has already been admitted into evidence.
That's how most people do normal candid shots when they're at the courthouse. Looking gaunt. Back.
Ms. Heard, this is another photograph of you taken inside the court.
Oh, she's so sad.
Isn't that right?
That is correct.
Were you having a photo shoot inside the courthouse while you were getting a DVRO?
What kind of fist bruise is
Not
that?
characterize it that way, Ms. Vasquez.
It's a lifetime.
Mark
It's a
on your face,
lifetime
right, Ms. Heard?
bruise.
Yes.
You didn't use your bruise kit this time to cover it up?
No, it was the only day I actually walked out
fake
of
it?
my house without makeup on. I had to be stopped. My best friend saw me in the bathroom starting to put makeup on and told me not to.
All right.
All right.
Looks more
Please
like a
pull up
zit to
exhibit
me.
1.
It's got like a little bump and everything.
That's plaintiff's at 1.
Yes.
Like
thank
she
you.
got punched by Tom Cruise.
It's already been admitted into
Yes, ma'am.
evidence.
Or Marco Rubio. Tiny hands Marco.
You wrote this op-ed, right, Ms. Heard?
With the help of the ACLU, yes,
And that's what you testified to in this courtroom, right?
that is correct.
And this was published on December 18th, 2018, correct?
That is correct.
Aquaman was released on December 21st, 2018, right?
That is, yes, that sounds correct.
And that was your first big blockbuster, big budget role, right?
I disagree, but it was the first time I had like a leading role in a movie of that size. Yes. Well, second time, yes.
What was your first time?
But the first one was the film I talked about before. I mean, yesterday, Justice League. It introduced the character, so technically, it was the second one.
But you were the love interest in Aquaman, correct?
That is correct.
Now, at least parts of this op-ed are about Mr. Depp, isn't that right?
It's about what happened to me after.
You sat
After
here
what?
during opening statements when your attorney argued that the context of your statements in this op-ed matter, correct?
That's correct.
So let's go through some of that context.
Well, if you're going to do this, you better do it well.
He wrote here, quote, "Friends and advisors told me I would never work again as an actress, that I would be blacklisted."
That is
You're
correct.
referring to your accusations of domestic violence against Mr. Depp in the statement, aren't you?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
You're referring to your accusations of domestic violence against Mr. Depp in the statement, aren't you?
In general, I'm referring to being associated with domestic violence.
And you're referring to what you claim happened after you got an ex-party domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp in May of 2016, right?
Are you asking me if that's what I was writing about?
That's what you're referring to, correct?
Can you just give me the question again? I'm sorry.
You're referring to what you claim happened
Theodore
after
Edgecombe.
you got an ex-party restraining order against Mr. Depp in May of 2016.
That's correct.
You also wrote, quote, "Questions arose as to whether I would be able to keep my role of Mira in the films Justice League and Aquaman."
Ooh.
This is also referring to your accusations of domestic violence against Mr. Depp, right?
This is referring to what happened to me after I got my TRO, my restraining order.
Against Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
These questions arose only after you accused Mr. Depp of domestic violence in May of 2016, allegedly, right?
Yeah, from the time I got the TRO, being associated with domestic violence, that's what it's in reference to, yes.
You also wrote, quote, "Imagine a powerful man as a ship like the Titanic. That ship is a huge enterprise. When it strikes an iceberg, there are a lot of people on board desperate to patch up holes, not because they believe
The
in or
Titanic
care
still
about the
sunk.
ship, but because their own fates depend on the enterprise."
Well, it had a real hole.
This op-ed, you're saying Mr. Depp is a ship, right?
I'm making an analogy to a powerful man as a ship.
The powerful man you're referring to in this analogy is Mr. Depp, right?
I was talking about a bigger issue actually than just
Oh,
Johnny.
yeah,
I was
sure you
talking
were.
about what we as a country were talking
Oh,
about,
get the fuck out of here.
which is
Sorry.
when powerful
I can't.
men in general do something
There it
horrible
goes.
or something they shouldn't, how there is a system in place to protect them, clean up
They're
after them, maintain them.
Literally get destroyed
afloat.
by
You
a
know, this is
word.
a reference to not just Johnny, it was about what was happening as a culture when we were addressing a lot of Me Too issues for the first time.
The iceberg is you in this analogy, right, Ms. Heard?
I would not say that. I had not.
The
That
hashtag
was not
me
what I
poo.
intended. No.
So this is another reference to your accusations against Mr. Depp.
No, this is about what happened to me once I left that relationship and got a TRO and became associated with domestic violence.
But it's your testimony that this op-ed isn't about Mr. Depp, right?
It's about what happened to me after. That's
It's
correct.
about your experience after obtaining a temporary restraining order against Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct, among other things.
But it's not about Mr. Depp.
It is not about him,
Mr. Depp is making it about Mr. Depp, right?
ironically.
It's kind of like that Carly Simon song,
Not
right,
the
Ms.
use
Heard?
of ironic.
I don't know what you mean.
Let's talk about the defamatory statements in the op-ed that you also claim are not about Mr. Depp. Then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. This is about Mr. Depp, isn't it?
No,
You wrote this in 2018, right?
exactly.
And 2 years prior was 2016, right?
That's true.
Okay.
That's correct. It's
So
not about
May of
Johnny. It's about what happened to me
Ms.
after.
Heard, my question was May of 2016 is 2 years prior to December of 2018.
That's
Correct?
correct.
All right.
It's not correct.
May
It's
2016
2.5 years
is when you
prior.
publicly accused Mr. Depp of domestic violence, right?
I got my restraining order at that time.
And you publicly accused Mr. Depp of domestic violence.
Yes, that was attached to my restraining order. So yes,
May of 2016 is when you sought a restraining order against Mr. Depp.
that's correct. And I had to provide testimony for that.
Right. And May 2016 is when you walked into court with a mark on your face to obtain that restraining order. Yes or no?
That was the day I walked into court with a bruise on my face. Yes.
And you were photographed with that mark on your face, weren't you?
I walked out to a bunch of photographers. Yes.
May
You're photographed by
2016
your
is when
friend.
you told the world that Mr. Depp had physically abused you during your relationship. Isn't that right?
That I had to provide testimony as part of my restraining order application. Yes.
And that's how you became a public figure representing domestic abuse, right, Ms. Heard?
From that point on. Yes.
That's when you claimed you faced our culture's wrath,
That's
right?
when it started. Yes.
But it's your testimony under oath that this statement is not about Mr. Depp.
It is not. It is about what happened to me afterwards. That's the more interesting, was the more interesting thing for me to write about.
The next statement reads,
Yeah,
I had the
nobody's
rare
buying that
vantage
shit.
point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. This is also about Mr. Depp, isn't that right?
Not just about him, but he is included in that. Yes.
He's the man you accused of abuse 2 years prior to this op-ed. Isn't that right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, but I wrote this op-ed in the context of many men at the time that were public figures or in this public eye being accused as well. So it was a reference in general to a larger phenomenon, not just Johnny.
How did you see
But
that
also Johnny.
firsthand?
Not just Johnny.
Mhm.
Not just Johnny.
Not just Johnny, but
But
Johnny.
also,
But Johnny.
And then,
But,
Uh-huh.
right, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. This one's also about Mr. Depp.
I did not write that.
Well, you've accused Mr. Depp of sexual violence in this very courtroom, haven't you?
Yes,
Good.
but I was intending to keep that private when this was published. I had not publicly ever accused him of that.
I'm going to move to strike
What
everything
about-
after the word
What about in
yes.
private though? What's in her
No,
emails to the
Josh, go ahead.
ACLU?
You may not have written this title, but you published it, didn't you?
I did not publish a title. I retweeted the article that included the title in it because that was the article.
publishing it,
publishing.
baby.
That's
Pull up
publishing
the
an
changes
article.
Exhibit 3, which is already in evidence.
that's what publication means.
Yeah.
This is a tweet from
The
your Twitter
word.
account on December 19th, 2018, correct?
That
I
is
just donated that article.
Today I published this op-ed.
Your Honor, I'm-
It
I
says
pledged it. I
published.
just pledged it to Twitter.
It is in evidence.
Thank you.
Yes.
So on
should use the
December
word published.
19th, 2018, you tweeted, quote, today I published this op-ed in the Washington Post. Did I read that right?
That is correct.
And the
She
tweet
published the
includes
word
link to
published.
The op-ed we were just looking at, correct?
That's correct.
And you can see that the title of the op-ed in your tweet is, quote, opinion, Amber Heard. I spoke up against sexual violence, right?
Yes, you don't get to change the title of an article you're retweeting.
You can actually disagree
And
with
that's
the title of the article
that
in
you
a
put
retweet.
on your Twitter, correct?
Called the quote
I
tweet.
did not put it on my Twitter, no.
You
You
linked
did.
it to your tweet.
I retweeted the article.
You published it.
I retweeted a link to an article that I wrote.
And you published it on your Twitter account. All right.
I retweeted it.
You testified yesterday
publishing.
that you didn't have any control over the title and just now of
A
the
retweet
op-ed when you
is a
retweeted it. Is
publication.
that correct?
That is correct.
This wasn't a retweet though, right?
It's a quote tweet.
A tweet? Perhaps not retweet. I'm not quite sure.
It was a tweet.
Tweet. I misspoke. Excuse me. Tweet, not retweet.
You included a link to the electronic copy of the op-ed in your tweet, right?
That's what I was trying to say earlier, and I might have misspoke. It's like I'm trying to attach it.
Right. So you included a link, right?
Yes,
to the
that's
op-ed.
correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
So you must have seen the title of the electronic version of the op-ed before you tweeted it, right?
No, I didn't.
I may have. I just didn't notice it.
Not very careful about what you publish, are you, Ms. Heard?
I just didn't notice the title.
It's a thing that's right
You didn't
there.
need to include the link to the electronic version of the op-ed in your tweet, did you?
How else would I have linked it?
Published it.
Well, you didn't need to include the link to tell the world that today you had published this op-ed in the Washington Post about women who are channeling their rage and about violence and equality into political strength despite the price of coming forward, right?
I couldn't attach it with a paper clip.
No, but you didn't need to attach it at all to tell the world
Oh, I
that
see
you
what you're
had
saying.
published an op-ed.
No, the goal was to tweet about it and to provide a link so that people
Yes,
can read it.
exactly.
The op-ed is in your name, right?
That's correct.
So if you had noticed the title of the electronic version of the op-ed before you included it in your tweet, you could have asked the Washington Post to change it. Isn't that right?
No, that's not.
Yes,
But you didn't
it
do
is.
that, right? You never asked the Washington Post to change the title.
I didn't notice it, and I didn't ask them, nor do I think I needed to.
But you can.
What?
At the
Why
bottom,
would
do
you
you
say
see that there's another tweet from December 19th, 2018?
Yes, I do.
You didn't
Did
think
she
you
not
needed
notice
to?
it, or she
This
didn't think she
one.
needed to?
It reads, I am honored to announce my role as an ACLU ambassador on women's rights. Did I read that right?
That's correct.
So you announced your ACLU ambassadorship the same day you posted the op-ed on your Twitter.
I
Is
think
right?
that was always the plan, is to attach the article with the announcement that I was an ambassador.
Your Honor, if I may, would this be a good time to stop for lunch?
No, it's too
No.
early.
Okay.
Sorry. We can keep going at least till 12:30.
Okay, that's
thank
fine,
you.
Your Honor. Thank you.
Another
Let
20
Elaine
minutes.
stop early yesterday.
Ms. Hurd, you testified yesterday about your counterclaim against Mr. Depp in this case. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, I do.
Your counterclaim is based on 3 statements made by Mr. Depp's attorneys, Adam Waldman. Is that right?
That's correct.
We looked at those 3 statements yesterday, right?
That's correct.
And the first statement was from an April 8th, 2020 article, right?
That's correct.
And that's Defendant's Exhibit 1245 that's been previously admitted. Please pull that up. Thank you. If we could please publish that. Thank you.
I wish you would have drilled down on that. Didn't think I needed to a little bit more. Oh, you
We
didn't think
can
you needed
scroll
to
down
correct
to
an
the 8th
incorrect
page.
statement?
Mr. Waldman's statement is buried on the 8th page of a 12-page article. Is that right, Ms. Hurd?
I don't know how many pages are here.
Well, this is the 8th page. Let's go to the 12th.
Would you dispute that?
Yeah, if I'm represented to you, this on the 8th page. Would you have any problem with that? Well, it might be on the 7th.
Let's pull up, please, Defendant's Exhibit 1246, which has already been admitted.
Oh, come on, folks. A little coordination here.
Please go to Mr. Waldman's statement on page 10. And go on to page 11 of a That's Mr. Waldman's statement, right?
That is correct. I think it's Mr. Waldman speaking on behalf of Johnny, yes.
You don't have any evidence of that, do you, Ms. Hurd? This is Mr. Waldman's statement, right?
I think it's included in the article as well.
that this is Mr. Waldman's statement, correct?
That a representative or an attorney, I don't know which word it says in the article, that it says very clearly that they're speaking on behalf of Johnny or representing Johnny.
Can we please pull up Plaintiff's
Does it
Exhibit
say
8818?
Speaking on behalf of Johnny, or does it just say the attorney for Johnny Depp, Mr. Adam Waldman, said?
That's a big difference.
Not all of an attorney's words are automatically imputed to the client, only if they're speaking in an official capacity on behalf of the client.
Mm-hmm.
If we could please go to page.
Ever Eden author asked if
8
there's a strategy behind
of this
asking for
article.
the break or if she's just hungry. She just wanted to break up those two parts of testimony before going into this path and then having to stop in 20 minutes.
Yep.
Sorry, Your Honor. May I just
All right.
approach?
Yes, ma'am.
They were on point with the tech. No, you're right. The tech use is still smooth though.
It's still better by comparison. Leagues by comparison.
Yeah. Okay. So while they're trying to figure this one out, yeah, they're just having technical issues trying to make sure we get Camille's about to just like smack it down.
Let's go ahead and take this down, please. Thanks. You testified yesterday about how your reputation was before these 3 statements were made, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You testified that your career was going very well before.
I think I said the trajectory was positive. Yes,
You testified you had a global campaign for L'Oreal, right?
that is correct.
You testified you were waiting on a schedule for Aquaman 2.
That is correct.
You testified you were scheduled to do a press tour for the TV show The Stand.
Press obligations. Yes,
And then you testified that after the articles, you were no longer actively involved in the L'Oreal campaign. Isn't that right?
they suspended using my material.
And that you were no longer involved in the publicity surrounding The Stand after the articles, right?
That's correct.
And you didn't hear anything about the schedule for Aquaman 2.
Correct.
Ms. Heard, you have no evidence that Mr. Waldman's 3 statements are the reason you are allegedly no longer active in the L'Oreal campaign, do you?
Well, I mean, other than my awareness that they can't use me because of all of the online attention not generated.
It's all
You have no
online, right?
evidence that Mr. Waldman's 3 statements are the reason that the Stand media opportunities allegedly stopped, do you?
Yeah, I know they couldn't attach my name to their promotional materials because of the online stuff.
What
In fact,
online
there was
stuff?
a lot of reasons why you
You,
were no longer
Rekeita,
active
you.
in these endeavors. Isn't that right?
I disagree with that.
Reasons that had absolutely nothing to do with Mr. Waldman's statements. Isn't that right?
I disagree with that.
There was a lot of publicity about your relationship with Mr. Depp around the time Mr. Waldman made the 3 statements at issue, right?
I do not recall.
A lot of really negative publicity for you, Ms. Heard. Isn't that right?
There's been an ongoing smear campaign, yes.
Terrible testimony.
An ongoing negative publicity campaign.
It's an orchestrated smear campaign.
You have no
Orchestrated.
evidence of that, do you, Ms. Heard?
Just look me up, you'll see.
Let's take a look at some of that.
Saying that there's a bunch of statements that cause this damage
All right.
is not helpful for you. Oh, it'd been going on for a long time. No, you have to pin it down to those 3 statements. Notice they brought in an expert to do this. They brought in an expert to say that the statements from Amber Heard in the Washington Post specifically were to call out the industry.
Yeah.
And that's what told the industry that they needed to act.
Yeah.
That's when it happened. That's when Johnny's career went to shit.
That's 100% because that is the counterclaim. That is the counterclaim for Amber Heard is that these statements med by Johnny Depp, through his lawyer, is what caused her to lose all this stuff. And Amber Heard's basically saying it was all this stuff on the internet that made this happen. Not these 3 instances in this one article, but all the stuff around on the internet that caused this, and they wanted to distance themselves from her, which made her lose those jobs and those opportunities, which is BS in my opinion.
Johnny Depp in response to his words or the words of his agent.
Oh, I think he just went over the same point I did.
Did Amber just tell the jury to look her up? Can she do that? She did, but she was being cheeky. She can say that. The jury can't look up articles about her. I mean, they do, but they can't.
I'm pretty sure they do.
So
Even though they're not supposed to, I'm pretty sure they do.
We have a big chat in from David Todd. Says Amber Heard and Gage Grosskreutz share the same mannerisms while on the stand. The high eyebrows answers are off-putting. Yeah, I noticed some similarities too.
It's
Yeah,
the
I just
same
don't
thing.
like
They
her-
Both, I mean, Gage thought he was clever. Like Gage really thought he was clever.
Yeah,
that was-
he's probably a guy who's been told he's smart his whole life. And then,
So
he's about to get
I do not like Amber Heard's mannerisms in this trial. To be clear, I think she comes off very standoffish, very look at me, look at me, look at me. Tries to pander to the jury way more than you probably should. So that those are again my takes on it. These guys are lawyers. They've been around juries for a lot longer, and have had a lot more witnesses up on the stand. Now there is a point you want to connect with the jury. Obviously, you want to connect with that jury and get your point across. But just simple yes or no questions or very brief things, in my opinion, you're supposed to be answering the lawyer who's asking you the questions and not turning every 30 seconds to the jury. It's off-putting, at least to me, and it would be as a juror, which is probably why they've tuned out at this point. So
I don't know why you're watching with Holy Diver, but I'm glad that you are, although I hope you're watching on 4 separate devices. Cheers. BN. Camille is pushing her closer to the Amber we saw in the UK depot. Departing gaze, drinking nervously, fidgeting with jewelry. Perfection. I wouldn't call today perfection, personally.
It's good.
Yeah, but I think there are plenty of places that could have gone a lot better. Things that could have been pinned down. Some
by the way,
questions
chat, let me know in the comments if you've made it this far. If you have made it this far in the video, it's been 3 hours and 12 minutes at this point. If you made it this far, please leave a comment. Let me know. We're probably going to be doing this tomorrow as well. So please let me know in the comments. If you do want to see more of this, we'll try to finish out the trial, actual work schedule permitting. We will probably only go through to lunch because, I do have a job. So days that I have off, though, we will try to cover the whole thing. We will be streaming Rekeita Law's stream on this, so make sure to go give him some love, go show him some support. Also Legal Mindset, and Bronca, I don't know what I don't remember what his is. You can go to hardtoconvict.com to go ahead and support him as well. These lawyers are absolutely amazing. There's a link in the description to this stream, so make sure you go like this video over on his side, subscribe to his channel. And, if you want to, subscribe to this one as well. We're going to have some more videos coming up this week. But, yeah. But thank you all for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. We got a little bit left in this. I believe they're going to do lunch in about 9 minutes. So let's kind of go, kind of get back into this and see how we're going to go ahead and end this here on
look at them and talk to them.
day 2 of Cross, or the whole first full day of Cross, it looks like,
They're looking back. Like
before the
why
lunch
she'd
break.
Be looking at the jury almost all the time. Make sure they're focused on me. I want their attention on me. Please look at me. Please look at me. Please call me Johnny. Please, 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 please.
Did we just? What did I
Smith
just say?
says,
See,
for all the broke hoes, hit the like to pledge all your dough.
Jeez.
Amber can't pledge anything. It's all locked
Their
up.
chat is absolutely amazing. His chat is absolutely amazing. I wish I had it up.
Automata, Camille, Amber, look at me. Look at me. I'm the bottle now. Oh shit. Michael Gammon says Amber Heard, Hollywood's version of the trailer park whore.
All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna get all the super chats in there. But what you're seeing right now is the gallery. Look, you got the DUI guy right there in the very corner left with the blue tie. That's the DUI guy. And yeah, I mean that gallery is some. Oh, he's yawning.
We got him on the internet. That's it. It's
Oh,
over.
that's
He
good.
zoomed in, too.
DUI guy, your career is done. Zoom in on
Yeah,
him.
zoom in on him.
Pan left. Pan left.
Is Sky News watching Rekeita's stream to get him on there?
Let's see. I'm just scanning the crowd to see if I happen to know anybody else. That'd be weird. Christian,
the guy in the
DeJesus-
back almost. Oh, sorry. I thought he had a
go
Jack
ahead.
Murphy beard for a second. Never mind. No. Go ahead.
Nah. Christian DeJesus says Amber's testimony goes from I don't remember to I didn't do it to he deserved it.
DUI had a yawn. That was
Wolfram,
evil.
all of those injections to Amber's cheekbones is making her look like a puffer fish. She is.
Oh.
I mean, she is
I've
filled
been up
out
since
quite a bit
6:30,
from
chat.
her.
I didn't go to sleep till like trying to
her
catch
Johnny
up on yet. So trying to catch up on yesterday's testimony. I didn't end up going to sleep till almost 1 a.m. after I got home from work to finish off where I left off yesterday, to make sure I caught up on all the testimony and everything from yesterday to be fresh for today, to make sure we're caught up and I didn't miss anything. So if any of y'all had any questions, I can answer them. So yeah.
I'll tell the bankers right now. Jonathan Sherwood, shout out to that Stephen Cooper guy. I know a guy named Stephen Cooper. Either way, thanks so much, Nick, for entertaining me on my long work days. Also, homeschoolers rock. Hey, thank you. I just found out that homeschooling was racist the other day from a very smart, very smart article about being racist and preventing integration.
Oh gosh.
So I'm glad to find out that that's me now. Jonathan Diaz, lawyer on cross, misheard you went pee poo poo on the sheets, correct? Wonder if we're gonna get to questions about the grumpy.
I don't know.
That would be
We
amazing.
got time for the grumpy. I mean, we've got to post lunch now. It knows that she wanted to go post lunch, so
Yeah.
We got time
By
for
the way,
grumpy.
wrecked you and your little prediction.
Hey,
Is he falling asleep or is he writing something?
I'm really surprised that she's going to go much longer than lunch. Honestly, I don't think she needs to. But
No, actually, what should have done is they should have tightened up this questioning today, and it should have been done by lunch. Frankly,
they could have.
Like
She could have. Right?
Yeah, and to be clear to the chat, like she's not doing bad, but there are some things that are just like that don't need to be out there on the table, where I feel like the questioning has just gone off the rails a little bit. Igor Slagathor, what's the purpose of a lie detector test if a psycho can pass it and an innocent person can fail due to nervousness? Would you ever advise to or not have your client take one? Why are they using some high-end security jobs? Well, polygraphs are not admissible in court. It's important to know that the lie detector is a human using the machine, but they're not
It's
recognized
a human's
as,
interpretation of electrical signals.
repeatable, replicable science that can be relied on for the purposes of evidence.
And they're very easy to beat.
Polygraphs are really only useful for a couple things: stipulated settlements, where if they agree to a polygraph and pass it, we will then settle the case for a thing. They can sometimes use the results of that polygraph in their public uses for that type of stuff. You can remember that a polygraph would be like many other witnesses that you might pay. It's weird how often the polygraph will favor the person who orders it. It's like, if I order the polygraph for my client, he's telling the truth. If you order the polygraph for my client, he's a liar. So this is a problem.
It
with
is interpretation.
just in general. It's very interpretive. There's certainly some instance where I could hypothetically see advising a client to take one if there's an advantage to it publicly, sure. But for in-court use, they're really limited of any kind of value at all.
Uh-oh, they're going to say he's got all the drugs
Shouse
on
in
the
house,
table.
Notice the total lack of emotion or sadness for her recount of sexual assault. Now the jury will notice that. Jason Angelfire watched yesterday's stream with the wife. She turned to me and said, Good to know that ice and arnica cream will make bruises and swelling disappear instantly. Should I be scared or turned on? You should,
Both.
Uh-oh.
Run.
All right, here we go. We'll get
Oh,
back
that
into
was
it
a
now.
long sidebar, ladies.
Thank
You're almost
you.
in a lunch here.
Long sidebar is going to go right into lunch.
So, Ms. Heard, my last question to you was that there was a lot of negative publicity for you around the time that Mr. Waldman made these statements. Isn't that correct?
I believe that they were made, I believe that the statements kind of kept being attached to new defamatory, or, articles that were like smear campaign sort of attack articles is what it.
Let's go through some of the articles that were out in the press. So, Plaintiff's Exhibit 1267. Could just publish that just for the witness. That would be great. Thank you.
That'd be great.
This is an article
That would be
published on
great.
February 2nd, 2020. And the title is hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp trends after Amber Heard admits to hitting actor in audio clip. Do you see that?
I see that.
And if we can go to
Very inconvenient.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 1268. This one was published on February 3rd, 2020. It reads the title, Amber Heard admits to hitting Johnny Depp in recording.
Yeah,
Do you see
that's
that?
when his lawyer leaked an edited tape.
Oh, it's
Heard.
the edited tape.
You see the title?
Is that the
Amber
title?
Heard admits to hitting Johnny Depp in recording. Do you see that?
I see the title.
Okay.
That's it. That's all you had to do.
We could please go to
It's not an
Plaintiff's
edited
Exhibit
tape.
1269.
We've heard you say it in this courtroom on tape, unedited and unbreaded.
Touchdown.
This one was published on March 17th, 2020. Amber Heard slammed door into Johnny Depp's head, reveals new audio. Do you see that?
Yeah, these are more of the PR plants.
Everything's
That's
a
not what
lie.
she's asking.
Get her to.
This one was
press
published
her
on
that.
March 31st,
How do you know this one was a PR plant?
Mm-hmm.
Amber Heard to be sacked from Jason Momoa's Aquaman after Johnny Depp's controversy, reports. Do you see that?
I do.
Is that a PR plant too, Amber? Ask her. She's going to say yes, but so?
Plaintiff's Exhibit 1271.
Make her say that everything published about her from everybody on earth ever spoken was always a lie. She's perfect.
You see the title that says Johnny Depp says ex-wife Amber Heard sliced his finger off and it, quote, erupted like the Vesuvius?
Vesuvius.
I just don't know when that was. I've never seen that article.
You're seeing the
Go to
headline now.
1272. This one was published on May 29th, 2020, and it says, when Amber Heard confessed to smashing a door into Johnny Depp's head, clocking him in the jaw. Do you see that?
I see that.
So
Going
these
to
had nothing to do
1275.
with you losing roles. Only those three statements from
This one was
Johnny's lawyer.
published on July 15th, 2020.
Were you a victim of a smear campaign?
Amber Heard stole my sexual assault story. Ex-aide tells
Ooh.
libel trial. Do you see that?
This was Adam
Ah!
Waldman as well.
That's not Adam
It
Waldman.
doesn't say Mr. Waldman. It actually says Kate James also says she often received abusive text messages from Johnny Depp's ex-wife, doesn't it?
I just know because he threw down the article.
Miss Heard, isn't that what that
Mr.
says?
Waldman threw the newspaper at
Heard.
me
No.
afterwards.
Miss Heard, that's not my question.
What
my
was your
question
I'm
is-
sorry.
The title of the
fucking
article
listening.
says Amber Heard stole my sexual assault story. Ex-aide tells libel trial. Kate James also says, Your Honor, she opened the door by saying it was Adam Waldman.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Let's go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 1276.
Man, there.
Amber
so that's
Heard
why we haven't
admits to
gotten that
hitting
story
fucking
in.
baby Johnny Depp in court audio. Do you see that, Miss Heard?
That's correct.
Okay. Let's go to 1277.
So there was a motion in limine on clearly on the aide
Published
telling
July 28th, 2020.
she stole my sexual
Amber Heard's
assault.
sister thought she was going to kill Johnny Depp, claims witness. Do you see that, Ms. Heard?
I see that.
And 1278.
So why aren't
Published
you
on
suing all
July
these other
28th,
people?
2020. Johnny Depp was the victim of abuser Amber Heard, London's High Court told. Do you see that?
I do see that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Go ahead and take our lunch recess then. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and take our
All
hour
right.
lunch recess at this point. Do not discuss the case with anybody and don't do any outside research. Okay, we'll see you in an hour.
All right, chat. We're gonna go ahead and end it there for today. Do I have that raid feature? We're gonna see. We're gonna see if we can I don't think I do. We're gonna see if we can raid Rekeita's stream here. I don't think I have that in here. No. Probably because I don't have monetization, so I can't do that. All right, so we can't. Yeah. So we're not going to be able to. Man, I was really hoping we were going to be able to do that. All right. Oh, what is this? Highlight, marker, share. All right. I'm still learning this stuff for YouTube. Yeah, I don't see the raid stuff on here. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and end the stream there. Make sure to click the description in the link below. Head on over to Rekeita's stream. They're gonna have a bunch of commentary and stuff going over the first morning and what to expect in the rest of the day. But this is gonna go ahead and end it for me today. Awesome stream today, y'all. We'll be back tomorrow again, 8 a.m. to 11:30. For the next day of testimony. Again, I will catch up on everything from lunch to the end this evening. So y'all have a great day and thanks for hanging out. And we will see y'all next time. Peace. Have a good one.